Bernardo Silva will be the man to get us underway in the derby. Will be very interesting to see how these two sides set up today. Looking at Manchester United, who will be going from left to right in their red home strips, black shorts and black socks. Scott McTominay and Bruno Fernandes, the furthest United players forward. But we are underway here at the Etihad, straight back to Ederson. Down the left-hand side now for Manchester City, straight into the United half with Doku. He goes back to Ake, and a ball back into the centre circle, where Ruben Diaz will pick up possession. Kyle Walker, calm and composed on the ball, back to Ruben Diaz, closed down by Bruno Fernandes, but Manchester City beating that United press. Foden fizzes a pass into the feet of Erling Haaland, and now the ball finds its way with Silva. Lots of space here for Doku on the left, just inside the box, on the corner. Tries the pass behind Diogo Dalot, who does get a block on it, and instantly, David James, it's a Manchester City corner.
Yeah, City started that game very differently. The ball went back to Ederson and he played it short. We've been so used to the long ball going into Haaland. United set up with a 5-man zone on the corners. If City know what to do, far post, head back, Rodri, 1-0.
De Bruyne takes the corner along the ground into Bernardo Silva, feeds it back to Kevin De Bruyne. Foden, with acres of space outside the box, takes a deflection and out for another Manchester City corner. He worked that one well, David.
Yeah, well, he didn't do exactly what I thought, but obviously...
No, they played it short.
Yeah, but United knew that, City knew that, I knew that they go anyway. United are vulnerable for corners, that's the point.
City with the first attempt of the game, and it is the local lad Phil Foden who has it. It's still 0-0 though. His shot was blocked. Out for a corner now, which De Bruyne takes into the near post, and Fernandes is there to head it away back towards the halfway line. Bernardo Silva there to collect the pass. On the halfway line now is Kyle Walker. City, of course, in their blue home strips and white shorts. That's a lovely ball from Kyle Walker. Looking for Kevin De Bruyne on the left-hand side. Fernandes is back to defend. Out for a throw-in on this near side. City attacking from right to left in the game. Now it's Jeremy Doku right by the byline. Goes back to Nathan Ake. He picks up possession as United have every outfield player, every player behind the ball so far, as City are around halfway inside the United half. They've got it on the right-hand side now with Phil Foden. He goes back to Rodri. John Stones picks it up in a midfield position, as we've seen so many times this season already. Foden back to Rodri, into the centre circle to Ake, and City switch the play to the left-hand side with Doku halfway inside the United half. Forward pass to Kevin De Bruyne. He looks for Phil Foden at the far post, headed away by Victor Lindelof, and now Doku has managed to wriggle free. De Bruyne takes over possession. He goes down under the challenge. Advantage played by the referee, so Bernardo Silva has it on the left-hand side. Now De Bruyne with space. Nice pass into the middle. Chance for John Stones. Brought down in the area. Big appeal for a penalty. No penalty given as Marcus Rashford tries to clear away. City gain possession again in the final third though. Silva, Rodri outside the area, dinks one over the top to Jeremy Doku. He's got it in the box. Goes back to John Stones as City just look to keep possession for a while. That was a big call for a penalty. We'll get the thoughts of David James and Alex Bruce on that in a second, but the ball is still in play and City are on the attack. It's Silva, ball in, Haaland just hits the top of his head and out of play for a goal kick. Alex Bruce, penalty, no penalty?
They're obviously going to have a look at it. It was Casemiro on John Stones, I think it was. The question mark is going to be, did he get a toe on the end of the ball? We're going to see the replay now. Jamo's putting his thumbs up, which makes it look like he did.
Yeah, it's a tackle. It's a good tackle.
It's a good tackle, yeah, you can see it. Good decision from the referee, but it's pretty clear what Manchester United's game plan is. They are parking the bus, as I said before the game. They've got Casemiro and Mainu obviously sitting in front of the back four in 2-6s. They've got Bruno and Scott McTominay as 2-8s. And then they've got Rashford and Garnacho. Rashford on the left, Garnacho on the right, and they're going to try and get behind the ball the best they can.
Oh, Kobbie Mainu caught in possession by Manchester City, but he does well, Mainu, to get the ball back. City nick it back on the right-hand side. Then Victor Lindelof steps in right by the corner flag. He's forced to clear up on his left boot, and City get possession back once again. It's Kevin De Bruyne who plays a pass back into his own half, actually, to Ruben Diaz, who goes all the way back to Ederson in goal for Manchester City. We are 4 minutes in to the Manchester derby. We're still goalless at the Etihad, but City with all the possession, and especially in the final third in the dangerous areas for the home team today. They've had a chance with Phil Foden, which took a nick off a United defender's head. A penalty appeal, which wasn't a penalty on reflection. They have possession now with John Stones inside the United half. shifts it to the right-hand side to Phil Foden. Diagonal run from him. Clips one to the far post where Jeremy Doku is waiting. He collects the ball, brings it down, left-footed strike, wide, never troubling Andre Onana. 0-0 it remains.
Yeah, and the ball that Phil Foden played out to Doku is on every single time. United playing with a back four, but it is so narrow that the space is on the wide, and I think quick transitions will get Doku in, and if they do this further up the field, I think there's an opportunity for Doku to play balls in behind that back line for Haaland to run onto. United do not look comfortable at the moment.
United do go short with their goal kick. It was Varane who took it, and that's a poor clearance from Andre Onana, which Silva is able to get a foot on. Luckily, Casemiro is there with his head to keep possession for United. McTominay with a good ball over the top. First chance for United. Garnacho in the area. Garnacho by the byline. Ball across goal, and Ederson is there to collect. First chance for United in this game. 5 minutes in, it's 0-0.
Good little bit of play from Manchester United. They hit them on the counter-attack. If they're going to have any joy this afternoon, that's where they're going to exploit it, down the sides of Man City. Unfortunately, it came to nothing, but it was a good little bit of play from Man United.
You just thought if Garnacho played that pass earlier, there could have been a chance, but now City have it in the United half. Kyle Walker just puts a foot on the ball, stays calm in possession for City. They have had the vast majority of the ball in the opening stages in this derby today. We still await the first goal. And now it's Ake in possession. Left-footed pass, short to his right. Ruben Diaz puts his foot on the ball as Scott McTominay closes him down. Ake back to Diaz in the centre circle. City is taking the time. They know they can split this United defence open, and that's a good pass from Phil Foden behind to Kevin De Bruyne, but a good challenge from the experienced Johnny Evans to the experienced Casemiro as United look to play the way out of this City press. Now it's Lindelof who's lost out in possession, and now Kyle Walker takes up the mantle for Manchester City. He does go back with his pass though to the halfway line where Ruben Diaz is waiting. Kyle Walker now on the right hand side into Haaland, outside the area still, surrounded by red shirts, but Foden takes over the ball now, right by the byline. He cuts back instead of the right-footed ball in, onto his left foot, goes backwards to Kevin De Bruyne. Phil Foden again, still with space on this right-hand side. De Bruyne with the overlapping run, good ball into the middle, but Johnny Evans is there to get it with his head. It took a massive deflection off his head into the air, then Andre Onana collects and it remains goalless.
Two really good bits of defending from Johnny Evans. He got dragged out wide and was fronted up by Kevin De Bruyne. He used all the experience, got his body between him and the ball, and then he's just cleared one up there for Manchester United with a ball across the box. Good start to the game from Johnny.
Onana goes long down the left. Bruno Fernandes may get on the end of this. It's a great ball from the goalkeeper. Now it's Fernandes just outside the area. Rashford shot! What an incredible goal from Marcus Rashford from Wythenshawe! An incredible way to open the scoring in the derby. A Rashford rocket!
What a
8
goal.
minutes in, it's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1.
You're never going to score as good a goal as that in a derby. Take a bow, Marcus Rashford. What a strike. They broke down the left-hand side. I think it was Bruno Fernandes. They've played one back, and Rashford stepped into it from 25 yards and hit an absolute rocket off the underside of the crossbar. What an unbelievable start to the game from Manchester United.
The only thing I've got to say, I was watching Marcus Rashford in the warm-up, striking the ball, and it looked scary. Onana, people talk about his distribution, he just pinged it over the top. And as Alex said, I mean, Marcus Rashford ran onto it, and it is a phenomenal finish. Wow, what a phenomenal finish.
Will there be a check for offside on Bruno Fernandes from the goal kick?
Oh, God. Do you know what? I think he might be, you know.
It's close. We await to see the referee's decision. It was a remarkable finish from Marcus Rashford. The referee's given the goal. Fernandes onside. Rashford with an absolute blinder in the derby. Maybe the best goal he's ever scored for Manchester United. One of the best goals I think we've ever seen in this fixture. City get us back underway. Bernardo Silva back to John Stones outside the centre circle, as no doubt City will need to keep their heads now. A shocking start to the derby on BBC Radio Manchester. Less than 10 minutes on the clock. United are 1-up. Delot nicks it back from Doku on the left-hand side, but then City managed to step in and get possession back themselves. Now it's Kyle Walker on the right-hand side. Good pass into Rodri. Plenty of space. Tries a pass into Haaland in behind. Onana's there first. Collects the ball. Alex Bruce, we've got to give credit to Andre Onana for his part in that goal as well.
Yeah, it was a great ball. I have to say, we speak about his distribution, Onana. He sets Bruno. Mind you,
that's poor from Onana. He's given it straight away. Luckily for United, it deflected off Bernardo Silva and towards Haaland, who was in a definite offside position. So United getting away with one there, as they have it on the left-hand side now with Casemiro, McTominay. Good passing play from United around the City press. Here's Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side now for the away side. Garnacho in front of him. He goes back to Fernandes, who plays his pass back to Rafael Varane. Now it's Onana in possession in the D, just outside the box. Casemiro surrounded by blue shirts, but United looking to pass the way once again around this City press. Another risky pass from Onana to the right-hand side, but it does drift over Jeremy Doku, and Dalot can get possession for United. Garnacho now running towards his own goalkeeper, weirdly. Then plays the pass back to Onana, who once again goes for that long ball down the left, which Rashford will keep in play. Kyle Walker steps in, and it goes out of play for a Manchester City throw-in.
I'll tell you something, chaps, that ball from Onana over the top is on all day.
Well, City have just conceded a corner, by the way, due to that Manchester United press. Needlessly, they've conceded a corner and potentially a chance.
What's interesting, and Alex hit the nail on the head there, where United try to play out the back, they've been horrible. They've kept losing possession, and so they've gone long and getting success. I mean, this is literally Route 1 football, and City just haven't got an answer. I know it's only been a couple of times, but they've got a corner and that Rashford goal, which again,
United corner now to be taken by Bruno Fernandes in front of those away fans who have already seen a stunning goal from Rashford today. Fernandes' ball into the middle. Ederson punches it high in the air. At the far post, Alejandro Garnacho fights with Bernardo Silva to get possession back, but Bernardo Silva does do well there, wins out in the duel and tries to release Jeremy Doku. He's got Casemiro all over him. Then Dalot steps in and puts it out of play for a throw-in on this near side. Pep Guardiola applauds and high-fives his winger for his part in that bit of play for City, getting the ball out of danger. Both managers patrolling their technical area in the opening stages here. 12 minutes played at the Etihad. It's City 0, United 1. Kyle Walker on the right-hand side for Manchester City now into the final third. Phil Foden takes up possession. Victor Lindelof puts it out of play for a corner on the far side. A chance for City to get back into this one.
I don't think City should be too worried at the moment, even though Mike has shown me a stat which is worrying. I always say he can score too early. I think United, having scored in 9 minutes, City got plenty of time.
Corner comes into the near post. It was Fernandes who got on the end of it. Almost looked like it was sneaking in at the near post, but he puts it out of play for another corner. City 1 goal down in the derby currently. They've won 5 of their last 6 in all competitions against Manchester United. Corner comes into the near post. Fernandes on the end of it again, and then Kobbie Mainoo will just head it into no man's land back towards the halfway line, and Kyle Walker will pick up the play for Manchester City. Out to Kevin De Bruyne, who skips round Bruno Fernandes. De Bruyne round Casemiro. It's still De Bruyne. His pass into Haaland is blocked, and now Diogo Dalot will take over possession for United. Pass into the feet of McTominay, who's got a bit of space in front of him to run into. Rashford in possession now, still inside his own half. Tries to flick one into Mainoo, and then it's just smashed forward by John Stones, all the way out of play for a Manchester United goal kick.
And that's one of the reasons what we just saw there is why I don't think City need to worry too much at the moment. They're still getting past that Manchester United midfield too easy. Kevin De Bruyne, a slight touch a different way. That ball goes through and there's a chance for City to equalise.
It actually went out of play for a throw-in, in fact. It's right by the corner flag, so Diogo Dalot will take the United throw-in. McTominay can't get the ball away. De Bruyne takes over with a header into Lindelof. Silva takes over. The pass is on. The chance is on for Foden. Great save by the feet of Andre Onana.
That's one thing Manchester United don't need to do. They need to clear the lines properly. They had 2 chances there to clear the lines. Didn't clear them properly. City pick up the second ball, which results in a chance. I think it was Phil Foden with the right-footed shot and a good save from Andre Onana.
14 minutes in, City trail in the derby. Foden's corner into the far post, into the grateful clutch of Andre Onana. We've already had one Mancunian on the score sheet today in the derby, in Marcus Rashford, with what I have to say has to go up there with one of the most phenomenal derby goals I've seen.
For the listeners, if you can imagine Wayne Rooney's volley against Newcastle all those years ago, it was very similar. If you can imagine just being rolled along the floor, he smashes it off the underside of the crossbar in exactly the same kind of way. Similar distance, it was a hell of a strike.
I don't think you're doing it justice. It's a goal of the month, if not a goal of the season contender.
If Alejandro Garnacho hadn't scored that remarkable overhead kick, I think it would certainly be at least United's goal of the season. Now Manchester City do have the ball as they look to find a route back into this game, onto the scoreline to level up proceedings at the Etihad. Rodri, Doku, Bernardo Silva on the overlapping run by the byline. Good ball into the box. De Bruyne, left-footed shot. In the end, quite a distance wide. I'm surprised it hasn't taken a deflection.
They're having good passages of play, Man City. United just need to stay disciplined, try and defend the box a little bit better than what they are doing, especially in the box and obviously in the midfield areas. City are just skipping past them a little bit too easy for my liking at the minute.
It is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1 in the derby on BBC Radio Manchester. It would be a huge turn up for the Bucks if it stayed like this, but United have just given away a needless throw-in as they build up from the goalkeeper. Johnny Evans couldn't control a simple pass, and then Foden goes for the long-range effort, which takes a massive deflection back off the United defender and towards the halfway line. It's Ruben Diaz on the ball now. Kyle Walker on the right-hand side takes a look up, switches the play to Jeremy Doku into the final third, outside the box. Doku closed down by Dalot. Good pass into the feet of Silva. Silva, can he get a shot away? It's blocked, but United don't get it away properly. Eventually they do through Scott McTominay. Garnacho heads it back towards the 6-yard box, and it's cleared in the air, and it's a big slip at the back, and Marcus Rashford could be through, but his touch lets him down. What an opportunity for United. It's still United 1, City 0, but that was a huge chance, and then a massive challenge on the halfway line from Kobbie Mainoo. Gets the ball back for the Reds. Pass to the right-hand side as Garnacho picks up possession. Casemiro switches it to the left. Bruno Fernandes takes a look up, goes short to Kobbie Mainoo. Back to Bruno Fernandes, and he decides to keep possession. He goes back to Onana. Alex, how big was that opportunity there for Marcus Rashford? Hold that thought, because Onana's gone long down the left again. I thought Bruno Fernandes maybe could have had a chance on, but Manchester City nicked the ball back. No time to breathe in this game, though, because they clear it forward and give it straight away to Casemiro. Fernandes, nice pass looking for Scott McTominay, who had space. City having to defend desperately and put it out of play for a corner. Tell us dead quickly, how big was that chance for Rashford?
It was a great chance. He got set away. He was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He had half the pitch to run into. It was a slip from the Manchester City defender. He's been slipped through, and all he has to do is run onto it properly to set himself. Unfortunately, he couldn't get the ball under control, and he's ended up running past it, which gave Kyle Walker the opportunity to get back and make the challenge. But a really good chance again for Manchester United, and if they keep exploiting...
Fernandes' corner in, it's headed away from Casemiro.
I was just saying, if they keep exploiting that space in behind, they're going to have joy from this Manchester United. If I was them, I wouldn't be having any other thoughts than to be exploiting the high line of Manchester City.
Onana right towards the halfway line, collecting possession there, the Manchester United goalkeeper, as City do win it back inside their own half, and Phil Foden could be through. It's Phil Foden one-on-one against Onana. Foden, Onana wins out, and it goes out of play for a corner.
God, it's a big save.
I'll tell you what, that was a superb ball in through for Phil Foden, and Onana, to be fair, has kept himself big, made a big save.
City go short with the corner. It's Rodri on the corner of the box. Great ball into the middle, but Johnny Evans is there to head it away. Up in the air. Kobbie Mainoo wins the header outside the box. And then Rodri goes backwards to Kyle Walker. He crosses the halfway line into his own half. City still trail in the derby thanks to that absolute rocket from Rashford. An incredible goal in the opening 10 minutes of this game. Rodri, his pass along the ground looks for Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne takes a look up to his left, instead goes short to his right. Foden, edge of the box, good ball into the middle, but Varane is stood in front of Haaland, so he can win that header. Lindelof, he goes down the left-hand side with his header. Garnacho, he's closed down quickly by Ruben Diaz, though, and now Lindelof is forced to go central. Fernandes, plenty of red shirts coming forward here. Fernandes tries to slip Rashford through, but it's a good interception in the end from Ake, and City get the ball back. United on the break here. They do have chances. City can be open.
This has turned into an end-to-end game, which is not something I think we anticipated, is it?
It's been a great start. First 20 minutes, it's been an unbelievable start. Manchester City have had majority of the ball, exactly like you'd expect, playing the ball around, creating a few decent opportunities. But for however threatening Manchester City look by having possession, Man United look just as dangerous on the counter-attack with all the space that they're leaving in behind for the forward runs of the likes of Bruno, Rashford, Garnacho. They've done it really well.
Potentially a massive dint in City's title challenges, but plenty of time left to go. Here's Doku on the left. His ball in. He's blocked by Dalot. Did it go out to play? Will it be a corner? No, says the referee. So Andre Onana will be able to launch Manchester United forward again. He's gone long so many times with these goal kicks, and at times City haven't been able to deal with it. This time he rolls the ball along the ground. He goes short to Rafael Varane, who gives it back to Onana in goal. He goes long this time on his left foot to the left-hand side. Lindelof's header finds Garnacho, who's shoved to the ground by Kyle Walker. He's not happy about it, the Argentine, but no wrongdoing. So City can take us forward now with Rodri on the outside of the centre circle, closed down by Scott McTominay, but keeps possession well. The Spaniard, who's gone 58 games unbeaten for Manchester City. Kyle Walker, he goes long down the left-hand side. Dalot is there to win the header and head it back towards the halfway line where City will take up possession. Bit of a wobbly pass back there from Nathan Ake.
It was a classic shin, that, Gaz.
Ruben Diaz there to collect it. We've seen some impressive things done with shins in this fixture before, I believe, as Wayne Rooney will tell you.
Very quick, very quick.
Here's Ake on the left-hand side for City. They're looking for their equaliser on BBC Radio Manchester. It is the 192nd Manchester derby, which currently the Reds lead. A long time left to go in this game, though. We're almost halfway through the first half. It's Phil Foden on the right-hand side. He's seen plenty of the ball, a couple of chances too. Onana certainly been on his game today. Walker, Rodri to his left. City with the ball about halfway inside the United half. Plenty of red shirts back defending there for United, but City will just pass it around, keep possession as Nathan Ake takes over the ball. Nathan Ake, little sprint forward, goes short to Rodri, who lobs one to the right hand side to Foden. Overlapping run from De Bruyne, ball across goal, blocked by Kobbie Mainoo, and out to play for a City corner, another City corner.
Yeah, and they need to do something with these corners. They've gone short.
Yeah, they've gone short again with it. Phil Foden. Here's De Bruyne, great ball into the middle, Onana there to collect. City with plenty of balls in today, but haven't caused too many problems to United with them. Onana tries to go long down the left-hand side again. It takes a nick off a City defender, and now City get the ball back. It's John Stones coming forward for the Blues in the derby, looking for their equaliser. Rodri. Pass into the feet of Haaland, which Johnny Evans can step out of defence and collect the ball back. And now there's space maybe for United to run into. It's Bruno Fernandes on the left-hand side for United. Ball over the top. McTominay's not there, but Rashford is. And he totally misses his opportunity. It's an air kick by Marcus Rashford. And in the end, it went out of play for a goal kick. So to take you through the rest of the first half, we'll hand over to Mike Mainoo.
Manchester City have lost their last 15 derbies when they have trailed. Since September 2005, Joey Barton rescued a point from Ruud van Nistelrooy's opener for the Reds. City trail. Manchester United lead in the derby and are boosting their hopes of a top four finish in Champions League football next season. City building, they're in their sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks from right to left in the first half. United in their red shirts defending, but will attack left to right when the moment comes. Here's Ake, midway inside the Manchester United half. Doku draws level with the left corner of the penalty area. Dart infield on his right foot. John Stones out to the left. Bernardo Silva, first time ball in, hits Diogo Dalot. Appeal of handball from the Manchester City fans behind that goal. Away to our left-hand side. City have the corner, taken quickly by Bernardo Silva. And now Doku, our referee's just stalled the play for now. Manchester City might have chance to retake the corner.
VAR here.
That's not a VAR handball. Wow.
VAR
handball for Diogo Dalot. Bernardo Silva's crossing from the left hits the forearm of Diogo Dalot. Penalty, David James?
No
chance.
No. Well, the good thing is, Mike, it stopped City from doing a short corner again.
Kevin De Bruyne with the corner on the near side left then. Right-footed, in-swinging delivery, right on top of Onana, who punches it away. Kyle Walker, midway inside United's territory to Phil Foden on the far right-hand side. Once more over, the cross comes in, it's deep, it's over Haaland. Will run on through to Kevin De Bruyne, who takes it on his shoulder, not once but twice. And then runs out towards the left-hand touchline before feeding it back into Bernardo. Rodri from distance takes a deflection, and that results in another Manchester City corner on the far right-hand side.
Yeah, the long corner works. I mean, Man City managed to retain possession because of Onana's punch. I mean, Rodri from distance, I don't think that was troubling Onana going down the middle, but it was deflected off for a corner, so another chance.
Which Phil Foden will take then. Far side, the right for Manchester City. Haaland makes the run towards the near post. Foden sends it in there, up towards John Stones. Flicked on by Manchester United. Rodri heads it back across the 18-yard box. A big boot under it, and it's bouncing up towards the halfway line. Manchester City, who have beaten United in 6 of the last 5 derbies, trail by 1-0 on BBC Radio Manchester. Played 25 minutes. Walker across to Ruben Diaz.
2 glorious chances from Marcus Rashford as well. We had another one 5 minutes ago. He's arguably, out of the 3 chances he's had, he's scored the most difficult. He had a one-on-one set away, and then there was a lovely ball across the pitch where he just has to make contact with it at the back post, and he couldn't do that, and obviously went out for a City goal kick. But on the counter-attack, Manchester United have looked dangerous.
Rashford's first goal at the Etihad since Manchester United won here 2-1 in December 2019. He made his name in the Manchester derby, Marcus Rashford, as a young 18-year-old back in 2016. He's the difference at the moment. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1.
Tell you what, Mike, you're full of positives today.
He's John Stones. Slides it to the left, a couple of yards outside the penalty area. Jeremy Doku, the ball against Casemiro.
Mike, just so you know, I'm not going to get carried away, mate. I'm just going to give it another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to start seriously gloating, okay? I might even wait till half-time.
There's a long way to go yet.
I thought you were quiet over there.
Half an hour played nearly. Manchester City trailing by 1-0. It's Erik Ten Hag's Manchester United. Ten Hag's 100th game in charge of Manchester United today, and it's a happy anniversary at the moment. Pep Guardiola watches on, arms folded, quilted jacket on, standing on the edge of his technical area. What can he change here, David, to get City at least level before the break?
Well, the thing is, Mike, I'm just thinking there, the best chances have actually fallen to City. The one-on-one for Phil Foden, for example. Marcus Rashford, Alex said, scored his hardest chance, and he never got to have the shots when he was through one-on-one. It's this most bizarre game where the best action seems to be more of an accident than by design, because when the easier actions have happened, they've been messed up.
Bernardo Silva wins a header midway inside the Manchester United half. Ball down on the floor with Rodri. Silva will turn to face the United penalty area. Doku's inside it on the left. 2 players in red shirts surrounding. Doku tries to squeeze it through. Bruno Fernandes sends it away. And Pep Guardiola raises his hands above his head to applaud that action from Manchester City, but it hasn't resulted in the goal they so desperately want. They're behind 1-0. Here's Doku, back towards the edge of the centre circle. Rodri has it. I
just think Johnny Evans is struggling, Mike. I'm looking at him here. He looks like he's in a lot of discomfort, and the physio's out on the technical area alongside Ten Hag.
Foden, right-hand corner of the penalty area for Bernardo Silva, who bends it behind Bruno Fernandes. Kevin De Bruyne is 25 yards out, sent it over the top, and Arna's all day long. He looked the favourite for it, catches it. The United goalkeeper all in yellow on the edge of his 6-yard box. And another Manchester City chance breaks down.
Yeah, it's a good point again that Alex makes there, because Casemiro's ended up dropping in and forming almost like a back 5. And what I was talking about like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, was that back 4 was very vulnerable. Now it looks more like a back 5. As I said, that's Casemiro's just stepped up a little bit. But yeah, Johnny Edmonds does not look comfortable.
Yeah, he cleared a long ball earlier. I saw him grimacing as he did so. Ball hasn't gone out of play, so United haven't had chance to assess perhaps the injury to Johnny Evans as they go across the halfway line. The Reds, Scott McTominay loses sight of the ball as he tried to weigh up his options, and Kyle Walker steps in, intercepts, takes the ball across the halfway line, 10 yards or so inside the Manchester United half, and back on the halfway line. John Stones to Rodri, just to the right of the centre circle as we look at it for Manchester City, who are right to left in this first half. A change of ends from their traditional first halves here at the Etihad Stadium. Doku's in on the left. Bernardo Silva slipped through. Back to Doku, who slips as he takes the shot. leaning back, and the ball bends well wide of the right-hand post. Still City 0, United 1.
Johnny Evans could do with going down here and getting some treatment if he's struggling. I keep seeing him grimace, and I can't understand why he's not doing it.
You can't understand now. I can't understand why the ball gets played out to Doku. Then Doku runs at Varane one-on-one rather than crossing the ball to Haaland so he can head a ball against a limping Johnny Evans. I mean, it is glaringly obvious that Johnny Evans is not comfortable out there.
You can see him there trying to move. He's struggling, isn't he?
Well, the physios are there with the kit bag next to Erik ten Hag down to our right-hand side in the technical area, but they are not on, and they're not calling Johnny Evans over. Garnacho. Mainu. Out towards the left. Rashford wants to take over. Mainu keeps the ball, and Rashford then tries to poke it back through on the 1-2. Kyle Walker intercepts, plays it out for a throw-in, which United appeal is there. City appeal, it should be in their favour, and the referee agrees with the blue half of Manchester.
I'm just looking at Johnny here now. I'm thinking it must be a knock, but otherwise, because if it was a pulled muscle or something, I think he would have signalled to the bench. So he's obviously going to try and run it off, because it must be some kind of impact injury rather than a twist or a strain.
He's not right. His hands is already. I mean, Stacey, when we were talking before the show, and I was talking about how good City were at Luton for working out how to beat them. You got an injured player on the field, effectively, or a limping player, and City haven't even once played the ball in his direction.
Casemiro takes a nick off Bernardo Silva down this near side right of Manchester United, and out of play for a throw-in. Dalot will take it. The 24-year-old turns 25 in just a couple of weeks' time and throws the ball towards the right corner of the penalty area. Bernardo Silva. Bruno Fernandes tries to hold it up. United play it over the top. Ake will let that comfortably bounce behind, and Manchester City have a goal kick.
Ederson needs to play a long ball on Haaland's head, who is standing next to Johnny Evans, and instead he plays short. Okay, it's a little bit frustrating at the moment, Mike, because when you see someone out there, I thought City would have the killer instincts to attack him and make him a focal point, but no one's going anywhere near him at the minute.
Manchester City, who've scored 10 goals in their last 2 home derbies, 6-3 and 4-1, but struggling to find a route past Andre Onana, not through the want of trying. Maybe it comes now. John Stones, it's a bending ball arcing out towards the left-hand side. Doku squares up against Dalot, tries to get the low ball in. Bending, it's a mess at the back for United, and Haaland heads over the bar. Well, Doku with the initial work, the ball then flew up into the air, landed right on the head of the big Norwegian, and it's well over the bar and behind for a Manchester United goal kick.
Couple of times now where Dalot's been fronted up by Doku. He's actually defended really well in the 1v1 situation. It's just another example of it there.
Yeah, but the problem is, Al, there was a question, I think again it was at Luton, about Doku or Jack Grealish. The thing with Doku is there's a lot of explosivity, but he wants to take people on all the time. And I just think, again, when you've got Haaland in the middle there, and City have tried to take on the defenders, it hasn't worked. They've got to put the crosses in.
Rodri misjudged his header. He has recovered it out towards this near side. City's left. His unblemished record might be blotted. Rodri this afternoon, 58 unbeaten in a row for Manchester City since losing against Spurs back in February of 2023. It is some run. City's home record is under threat as well. November 2022 since they last lost at the Etihad Stadium. Walker down the right-hand side. Won't get his cross in. The number 2 of Manchester City squared up by the number 2 of Manchester United. Ball in from De Bruyne, and then the shot from Rodri, spilt by Onana, and behind for a Manchester City corner.
And the case in point, ball goes out to Kevin De Bruyne, first time, whips in the cross. Someone's got to deal with it. The ball falls to Rodri. It's a lovely volley, but Onana, who's been player of the match so far.
Another short corner by Manchester City to Foden on the right corner, back out wide to Bernardo Silva on that far side. Left-footed, can't find Kyle Walker. Mainu gets the interception. He'll then chase down Kyle Walker, the Manchester City captain, who has no options going forward and has to revert back to Ederson, who won't keep a clean sheet this afternoon, with United winning by a 1-0. He is the joint leader for Golden Glove at the moment, Ederson. But it's not going to continue the record this afternoon. City trailing by a 0-0, 12 minutes to half-time. Here is Rodri to the tip of the centre circle for Ruben Diaz. And then Nathan Ake, the frustrated chant of "Come on City," starts to echo around the Etihad Stadium, clouded over this afternoon in East Manchester. Walker flicks it up out towards the right-hand side. Foden will take on Lindelof, right on the white paint on the far side, and he just checks back Lays in a short pass to Rodri now. Kevin De Bruyne in on the right-hand side. De Bruyne low shot. Snatched at it. And it's wide of the near post. And it's another let-off for Manchester United, David James.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne seems to be heating up at the moment, which is good or encouraging signs. Unfortunately, obviously the shot's gone wide, but as I said right from the beginning, Man City, when they get that passing movement, they can get through this United side very comfortably. It's just the quality of shot at the end which is a problem.
The one thing Manchester United need to keep doing is just defending, keep trying to frustrate Manchester City. Obviously they're dropping deep, they're defending the box well at the moment, and obviously the longer the game goes on, if Manchester United can keep that up, City will start getting frustrated, start trying to force things, which will only be good for Manchester United.
Edison with the ball away to the right hand side in his own penalty area. Not only the red half of Manchester celebrating this scoreline at the minute, but the red half of Merseyside too. Liverpool lead the Premier League. Manchester City, after Liverpool's late win yesterday, know they have to win today and then win at Anfield next Sunday to have a chance of going to the top of the Premier League once again. Their unbeaten record, not lost since the 6th of December. Manchester City under threat with John Stones coming forward. Phil Foden on the right hand side, the far side in this first half. The sky blue shirts of Manchester City up against the camped-in Reds of Manchester United at the moment, whose furthest man forward is midway inside their own half. Rodri flicks it out towards the left-hand side. There is space for Jeremy Doku. Low ball into the box, and it's away by Varane. And up towards the halfway line. A good clearance from Manchester United. 9 minutes left in this first half. City still trailing by a goal to nil.
Well, Pep Guardiola might have been applauding Jeremy Doku's last or previous one-on-one attempt. He wasn't applauding that one with a wasted cross.
John Stones, who had a chance earlier on in this game, but was well challenged inside his own penalty area, inside the Manchester United penalty area rather. Appeals of a penalty waved down. Here is Rodri, through on for Bernardo Silva, stops the ball, brings it back. Rodri, central position, 25 yards out, floated ball towards the far side of the penalty area, headed away by Lindelof. Kyle Walker first onto the loose ball. Here's John Stones out towards the right hand side for De Bruyne again with that mop of hair now, bouncing with every step he takes. He's in on the byline right hand side, checks back into the penalty area, low ball into Foden, tight control, low shot, snapped at the Manchester United defence, but they got the bodies in the way. Walker again on the right hand side, little flick back from him. John Stones, Phil Foden draws level with the corner of the penalty area and then gives it to Kevin De Bruyne, but sells him short, and Mainu will try and nick in, and De Bruyne wrestling for it with Mainu gives away the free kick to Manchester United midway inside their own half.
Yeah, good bit of play from Mainu there, holding off Kevin De Bruyne, who gives the foul away, which allows Manchester United just to have a minute's breather because they've been under pressure for the last 3 or 4 minutes. They just need to keep bodies forward, Manchester United, a little bit as well. They're dropping so deep, and what they haven't done in the last 5 or 6 minutes is get players forward quickly enough to try and cause Man City a problem. They're defending and not offering anything in an attacking sense like they did in the first 15-20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I just think City have just got to continue passing the ball, create the chances. I mean, it's been a little while since Onana's had to be forced into a big save, but just carry on doing it.
Well, Rodri deemed to have fouled Casemiro as the ball bounced towards the edge of the penalty area. They're both backing into one another, but the referee this afternoon, Andrew Madley, decides that's a Manchester United free kick. 12 of United's 14 wins this season have been by a single goal margin. They lead by a single goal here at the Etihad Stadium. 13 of the last 14 defeats for Manchester City by a single goal as well. City 0, United 1. 7 minutes to half time here inside the Etihad Stadium. Total Sport, BBC Radio Manchester. You can text in your thoughts on 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Just start the message with the word Mank, or you can get in touch at BBC RM Sport on X as well. Here is Stones. Bernardo Silva inside the centre circle, runs over the centre spot, has a look to his right, little dart of the eyes to the left as well, gives it to Rodri, who drifts one out for Foden on the right hand side. De Bruyne with him, laid back for Kyle Walker with his bright pink boots strapped to his feet. Rodri out to Foden again. Foden will have a run at Garnacho, and his cross in from the right is easily picked out by Andre Onana, who has 2 safe hands around the ball.
Yeah, again, it's good pass and movement getting around the back there. It's unfortunate that the cross itself wasn't particularly good. The only option that would have worked had gone far post to Doku. I'm not sure.
He's
long
in.
ball again.
Down the middle, Edison just on the edge of his D, heads it out towards this near side. Fernandes was the man on the chase. As United clearly have the counter-attacking structure in place with the long balls. It was how City was so successful against Luton on Tuesday night. And Manchester City have been punished perhaps by their own methods.
Yeah, and I don't think Ederson's played the ball over the halfway line. And again, we talked about it and you just mentioned it. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne is through.
Can he keep it in? Right on the byline, flicks it up anywhere will do just to keep the ball in play. It'll drop down off United's head for Ake. Rodri sees Doku free on the left-hand side. Back in towards John Stones, and he uses Bernardo Silva just away from the left corner of the penalty area, near side for Manchester City, trailing by a goal to nil. 5 minutes to half-time. Here is Ruben Diaz. Doku. City had a lot of early pressure, a lot of early chances. It has filtered down only to half chances really at the moment. United standing firm. Foden, left side of the D. Back out to this near side for Bernardo Silva, who bends one in towards Phil Foden. Clever header away from Scott McTominay. And United clear their 18-yard box for now. Ake tries to force the issue, runs into traffic. It is a Manchester City throw on this near side.
Yeah, as I say, you've got to keep this pass and movement going. I think Pep's going to have to make an early sub. That's the first thing. Just had a look at the subs bench, and I think Alvarez, I wouldn't be surprised if nothing happens before the end of this half that he comes on early in the second half, because City needs something different. Yeah,
Alvarez, for the second Premier League game in a row, is on the bench. He had previously started the other 24 for Manchester City. Since Haaland's return, though, the balance of the team has been somewhat shifted again. Out towards the right-hand side, Rodri looking for Kyle Walker. Lindelof sticks out a leg and he's out for a throw-in by the corner flag on this far side. Manchester City's right. Walker needs an outlet there, hasn't really got it, and throws it midway inside the Manchester United half back towards Rodri. Here's Nathan Ake. There's plenty of space for the City left back today, although he is in a central position at the moment. Doku coming in from the near left-hand side. Rodri spots the run of Walker. Walker will head it down into the penalty area. Doku was winding up the shot. De Bruyne will, and has fired that so high and wide it nearly lands into the second tier of the stand to our left-hand side.
They just haven't got that final pass, that final finish right, City, have they? They've had a lot of the ball, but they haven't worked. They've worked on Anna a couple of times, don't get me wrong, but to be honest with you, the saves that he's made, I would expect him to save, apart from maybe Foden's one-on-one. Apart from that, Man United have defended really well. You can see what the game plan is, to try and frustrate City the best they can. And at the moment, you'd have to say they've done that well, because they're just starting to lack ideas by the look of it.
Wow, is that you gloating?
Correct.
There are still 48 minutes at least of this Manchester derby left. City trail. Garnacho pressuring John Stones, who turns back to his own goalkeeper. Ederson out towards the near side left again for Nathan Ake, who will push it on through for Jeremy Doku. Goes down, no foul given. And Guardiola inside Ten Hag's own technical area. Waves his players just to get back to avoid the quick throw of Manchester United. Dalot evades the challenge of Doku, then pushes it forward for himself to run onto. Nathan Ake across and uses Ederson. 2.5 minutes left.
Get back, Dalot.
Of the 45, Dalot having to chase back. Fernandes filling in for him for now as Walker goes down the far side, flicks it infield. Kevin De Bruyne rolls it to the right corner of the box for Phil Foden. De Bruyne has carried on his run behind Foden. Foden can't find a route through. De Bruyne uses Ruben Diaz. Manchester City a little stationary here. Manchester United set up on the edge of their own 18-yard box. Here's Rodri. So crucial a goal against Chelsea recently here at the Etihad Stadium. Had a shot saved in this game as well by Onana to try and get City level. Here's Bernardo Silva. Doku out wide to his left. Bernardo bends it. Haaland's made the charge. Good header away by Varane. De Bruyne will challenge for it. Foden on the volley. Smacks it against Mainu. And the ball bounces away out towards the far side touchline. 20 yards inside the Manchester United half. The referees stop play due to a suspected head injury of Kobbie Mainu, and play will pause for now, but 2 or 3 big chances there for Manchester City.
Yeah, and the cross again, Mike. I mean, it, without sounding obvious, when City cross the ball in, they cause problems, because the quality of the cross, defenders have to basically hack it out, or hopefully someone gets on the end of it, but the ball falling to Foden, I mean, he's absolutely smashed that. I'm not surprised Mainu had a little bit of adjustment to his thinking there, but again, I just think if City can get the ball wide, get the ball in early, rather than trying to take players on, it's their best way of getting to that equaliser.
Kobbie Mainoo's first taste of a Manchester derby and put his body on the line. Rodri, left of the penalty area, will bend it in, float it to the back, Foden heads to the cross goal. Haaland, no! How's he missed from a yard out? It was on a plate for the Norwegian, and somehow United's net is unmoved.
Miss of the season. Got to be.
Oh my goodness me. I'm just about to shout in Alex's ear then.
It's a good job I've got these headphones on.
Yeah, but again, it's a cross. I mean, a cross to the far post, the header across the goal. It is an open goal, and Haaland from literally 3 yards with his left foot has managed to put it over. But it was waist high. He's put it over the bar, and he'll get another chance. It's fine.
He's got to score though, hasn't he, J-Mo? I mean, a player of his quality to get a chance like that, he's got an open goal and he's 2 yards out, and he's just got to side foot it into the open net. To hit it over the bar, it would have been harder to do it than hit the back of the net.
Dalot charging forward for Manchester United. We're into 3 minutes of added time. They're looking to end the half with a 2-goal cushion. Big chance missed by City. Can United punish them? Out on the far side left, Marcus Rashford. Chip forward by Lindelof. Fernandes in the penalty area, plays the 1-2 with Mainoo. Fernandes then sends it into the box. Ederson just about gets there. Scott McTominay right on top of the goalkeeper, and then as Ederson races to the edge of his own penalty area, he's blocked off. They want help from the referee that just isn't forthcoming.
Yeah, I mean, that was a chance. I mean, Ederson really should have dealt with that, and like you said, I mean, from an open goal to being under pressure there, I think there was a 3 minutes stoppage time's been added on, Mike, and they've got to do something, as I say, otherwise Pep's going to have to make substitutions at half time. But Ederson once again had an opportunity to throw out quickly here at Bernardo Silva and didn't.
Bernardo now has it on the left hand side. The first of those 3 additional minutes has gone. Rodri, Foden just outside the D, will put his back to goal though and lay it back to Rodri, central position, clips it out to the left hand side. Here is Doku. Foden still 25 yards from goal. Manchester City waiting for that one moment. Lapsing concentration for United. Bernardo Silva across the 6-yard box from the left-hand side. Away by Johnny Evans, who stayed on the pitch after taking that knock early on. Never received any treatment. He's shaking it off as Manchester United continue to lead here. Here's Walker. City 0, United 1. Walker forward, midway inside the Manchester United half. Foden, a stretch of the legs from him as he tries to keep the ball under control. Walker with the crossing from the right. It'll come right across the 18-yard box to Doku. Now on the left side of it. Bernardo Silva pointing to Doku where the assistance is in the form of Kevin De Bruyne, who finds a pass to Bernardo. De Bruyne right across goal, and United nearly turn it into their own net with Rafa Varane on the stretch. Just wide of the left-hand post. 2 really close chances for City at the end of this first half.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva, it was like they were the only 2 who are allowed to move in that move, because they played the 1-2, everyone was stationary.
De Bruyne in swinging delivery, header up by McTominay, away out towards this near side left. Garnacho and Doku challenge for the ball. De Bruyne tries to head it towards Rodri, unsuccessfully, but City still have it. Foden closing in on the penalty area. John Stones in a tight situation, moves it to the left, space afforded to Rodri, flicks it to Stones on the edge of the D. Bernardo, Walker on the stretch, low drive, takes a deflection. Manchester City corner yet again.
Oh, this is so much better. I mean, the pressure's on there, the chances have been created. Again, another block. I have to say, Mike, one thing United have done, they've got the blocks in this first half, so credits them for that.
They have. They defended the box really well. They just need to see it out to half time, because City are trying to turn the screw. They're having all the possession. United have got 11 men behind the ball, camped inside their own 18-yard box, more or less.
This will be it for the end of the first half. De Bruyne swings it in. It bends back towards goal. Onana clutches, and there goes the half-time whistle. Well, they were written off before the start of this game, but it's Manchester United who lead at the break, as Pep Guardiola has some angry words as he heads down the tunnel. Not sure who that was to, but Marcus Rashford's stunning strike separates the 2 sides in this derby at the moment, and Manchester City, for all their pressure, are yet to find a way through. Something they'll have to do in a big second half ahead in terms of the title race. For now, it is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1.
Goodness me, before we break down those chances and that strike from one Marcus Rashford, I mean, Alex, a lot of people will be surprised at this scoreline at half-time, but what arguably might be more surprising is the way the game has gone in terms of on the field. It's been end to end at times.
Yeah, first of all, from a Manchester United point of view, they've defended the box really well. Obviously, City have had all the ball. They've tried to frustrate them, which they have done. To hang on for 45 minutes again and do the same, they're going to need an incredible amount of luck. They've had a little bit of luck, obviously, with a Haaland chance that he's missed from 2 yards out, an open goal. But they have looked threatening on the counter-attack. The City hold a high line, especially in the first 15-20 minutes when Man United got the goal. They had a couple of chances trying to hit them on the counter-attack, and then as the halves progressed, they've just gone deeper and deeper. If they're going to have any joy of getting 3 points in this game, they still need to try and hurt City the best they can, and not just camp in their own 18-yard box and hope for the best.
And before we move on, I just obviously got to ask about Rashford. I mean, that strike, for those who haven't seen it, it'll be doing the rounds on social media very shortly, if not already. That was some strike from Rashford. That said, he didn't have much time to think about it. He's laid off, he put his foot through. It was an incredible goal, which you can talk us through. The 2 chances that followed, though, arguably even easier, but he had time to think about it. Whether that tells you something about that mentality at the minute, I don't know. But talk us through the goal and the chances that he had, Alex.
Well, the 3 chances he's had have been all Manchester United's chances, and the one difficult one, that where it was played back to him, like you say, Stacey, he's just hit it like a rocket from 25 yards. It crashes in off the underside of the crossbar. I can't think of Marcus Rashford scoring a better goal for Manchester United, I have to say, and he's scored a few beauties over the years. That'll be right up there in his with his goals. And from an attacking point of view, yeah, as you say, the 3 chances that they've had, the one-on-one where he's ran beyond the ball and allowed Kyle Walker to get back, and then the crossfield pass into the 18-yard box, he hasn't managed to get a clean connection at goal. They're the only 3 chances United have had, but City have had all the ball, as you probably would expect. I'm sure that the possession count is high, but Manchester United have defended the box really well and tried to frustrate City by defending their 18-yard box.
And a quick word on City's chances. I mean, Foden had a great 1v1. Onana did well to save it, David. But I mean, it's difficult to put into words that opportunity for Haaland, and people believe what you're describing in front of your eyes.
Yeah. Do you know what? If he'd scored 5 goals and that had been the chance to score the 6th, I think people would be equally surprised, but he'd have the comfort blanket of scoring 5. It has to be one of the easiest chances that he has had as a City player. There was, and I say this with respect, but there was nothing difficult about it. The ball's come in, it's waist high. He has jumped, used his left foot to play it. He's in front of the goal 3 yards out.
He'd be better just running into it, really, wouldn't he?
Almost
with any body part.
Yeah, almost hitting him would have been as easy as putting in. But
yeah.
Again, because he's such a good player, I mean, he will know why he missed it. But going back to the opportunities that City have created, I mean, the one-on-one was a good chance, very good chance, but it was an equally great save by Onana. He's made himself big and done everything right. Rodri's shot was a chance. I would feel more comfortable in the City changing room at the moment. Even though obviously United have the lead, I would feel more comfortable simply because they look like, especially towards the end, they're creating the chances. I think Pep has to make a substitution though, and I think he has to bring Jeremy Doku on. I've said this before.
Because he's getting a lot of the ball, isn't he, on the out wide there? Because United defensively been very narrow. And
the chances aren't being created from him, and that's the key thing here. When Kevin De Bruyne does a 1-2 with Bernardo Silva across the ball and Varane sticks his foot out, that's half a chance. When Kevin whips in a cross and it falls to a volley for Rodri, that's a chance. Whereas Doku is trying to do things, slowing the game down, and if anything, allowing Manchester United to actually set up and be more a formidable defensive unit in front of the goal.
Who do you want to see brought on then to
Alvarez.
Exploit that?
Alvarez, because he's got the movement,
okay.
And he does all the doggy stuff. He'll run after people, close people down. It might mean that Phil Foden has to shift to the left and have Alvarez through the middle, but I think it would be a better suit than what we've got at the moment, which unfortunately becomes a little bit predictable on Doku's side.
United, just a word on them defensively, Alex, have done well blocking shots. You know, they've thrown bodies in front of it time after time, but they do seem really narrow. And should City make that change, or I don't know, just make the most of the opportunities that they're getting, particularly down the left with Doku or whoever, if he does make a change, can exploit that more, they could be in a great deal of trouble because they're getting so much space out there.
Yeah, you're right, Stacey. How they're setting up Manchester United, they have got a really narrow back four, and then they've got the 4 midfield players in front of them. And the game plan is just to pack the 18-yard box and put as many bodies between the sticks as what they possibly can. So every time the ball comes in there, try and clear it and have a body in the way, and they've done that very, very well. I think Varane and Johnny Evans have had a really good first half. They've had lots of blocks, lots of clearances. I just worry that if they don't try and give something to think about going the other way, and they just keep going deep and deep and deep and try and defend the box for 45 minutes, they're going to find it tough in the second half.
Yeah, but how they do, they knock the ball long and get a chance.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You say that, Jamie, but
it's working.
If there's one weakness for Manchester City with them holding such a high line, realistically, it's the only way that they're going to hurt.
Yeah. No, I mean, sorry, Stace. What I find interesting, again, we mentioned it in the commentary there, it's easy for City to get through that midfield and in front of the defensive line. And the problem, and it's not that Doku's not a good player, he just doesn't suit this game at the moment. As soon as you put your foot on the ball and think about what you're going to do, then people get back in numbers. And I think that's where United have been really good. They've got back quickly. City's transitions have to be much quicker, crosses into the box have to be much quicker. And yes, of course, they're losing 1-0, so they are always going to be vulnerable for that ball over the top.
Just a couple of texts and tweets to put to you both, and then you can go and have a breather. David, Addy Mike says we're pretty open at the back. They've created 3 good opportunities on the counter.
Yeah. The goal was scored after 8 or 9 minutes. So, even City are going to look at it. We need one to equalise. So they are going to leave themselves a little bit open at the back. The concern I've had is that the 2 chances, both times, I think Diaz was there, and you're thinking he's big enough and experienced enough to actually deal with the long ball, and it hasn't been dealt with. That would be a slight concern, a big concern for me. But they're going to be more and more open the longer this game goes on, because City are going to have to push numbers forward. They're not, unlike any other team, losing 1-0. They have to go for that equaliser.
And Alex, there's a couple here on Rashford, and you can tell they've been sent at various points in the game, because the first one from Eddie says you can tell that Rashford was kicking all his critics and bullies with that goal, such ferocity. And then followed up with Nuzza says if Rashford cooled it a bit, he could have had a hat-trick by now.
He could have quite easily. I mean, the 2 chances that he had, one of them was a one-on-one, and he had to run from the halfway line, so you wouldn't say it's a chance. But with what Marcus Rashford possesses with his pace, you'd like to think he would go on and work the goalkeeper, which unfortunately he couldn't do. But his strike itself was amazing. It was such a great goal, and it will do him the world of good to score such an important goal in a game like this. Just looking at this Haaland chance again, I can't believe he's missed it, J-Mo. It's just incredible how he's missed it.
Sorry, just going on that Rashford thing. It's funny, he's had 3 actions. The first one's an unbelievably superb strike for the goal. The second action is to head the ball in front of him to be able to run on for a one-on-one, which he doesn't get right. The third action is to shoot across himself, which he doesn't get right. So arguably, it was by chance the one that's gone in. And Onana's kick for Rashford for the goal was the only time he's actually cleared it properly. All the other times he's missed it. It's just that first half has gone well in United's favour.
Yeah, it has.
It's like you said, by accident rather than by design. You said earlier.
Absolutely.
No, they have. Manchester United have been a little bit lucky, obviously, when you think about the chances that City have missed. But realistically, before the game, we would have said, wouldn't we, if Man United were going to get the 3 points, we'll take it and just have that little bit of luck, which you need in a game like this. And they're having it so far.
It's half time.
It's half time, but listen, if the second half goes in how it went in the first, United are just having that little bit of luck on the day. Let's hope it continues. Well,
a smiling Alex Bruce and a still confident David James next to us here. We're live at the Etihad from Total Sport for the derby. Manchester United leading 1-0 at the break. Second half commentary on the way.
How not to win a BBC Radio Manchester umbrella.
In what year did David Gilmour join the band?
1972.
No. Which track won Pink Floyd a Grammy?
Don't know.
Which animal appears on the front of the album Atom Heart Mother?
Haven't got a clue.
Which Pink Floyd recording became the first rock album to be played in space?
Sorry, I don't know.
I don't think anybody has scored 0.
The worst player ever, thanks very much.
Manchester Mastermind. Score more than none and you might win an umbrella. Play along or take part weekday mornings at 8:45.
BBC Radio Manchester. Total Sport.
BBC Radio Manchester.
Well, David James and Alex Bruce have gone to get their breath back, and time for you to catch your breath as well. What a first half, and we're moments away from the second half of what is turning into a classic Manchester derby.
We are underway here at the Etihad. Fernandes just outside the area. Rashford shot! What an incredible goal from Marcus Rashford from Wythenshawe! An incredible way to open the scoring in the derby. A Rashford rocket!
You're never going to score as good a goal as that in a derby. Take a bow, Marcus Rashford.
The only thing I've got to say, I was watching Marcus Rashford in the warm-up, striking the ball, and it looks scary.
Silva takes over, the pass is on, the chance is on for Foden. Great save by the feet of Andre Onana.
They're having good passages of play, Man City. United just need to stay disciplined, try and defend the box a little bit better than what they are doing.
It's a big slip at the back, and Marcus Rashford could be through, but his touch lets him down. Phil Foden could be through. It's Phil Foden, one-on-one against Onana. Foden, Onana wins out, and it goes out of play for a corner.
This has turned into an end-to-end game, which is not something I think we anticipated, is it?
It's been a great start. First 20 minutes, it's been an unbelievable start.
Ball over the top. McTominay's not there, but Rashford is, and he totally misses his opportunity.
Shot from Rodri, spilt by Onana, and behind for a Manchester City corner. Walker will head it down into the penalty area. Doku was winding up the shot. De Bruyne will, and has fired that so high and wide it nearly lands into the second tier of the stand to our left-hand side. Foden heads to the cross goal. Haaland, no! How's he missed from a yard out? It was on a plate for the Norwegian, and somehow United's net is unmoved.
Miss of the season.
It is an open goal.
And there goes the half-time whistle. Well, they were written off before the start of this game, but it's Manchester United who lead at the break. It is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1.
Well, what an opening 45 minutes we had to the Manchester derby. It's Marcus Rashford and his unbelievable rocket of a strike into the top left-hand corner of Ederson's goal, which separates the two teams at the moment. Manchester City certainly with the majority of the possession, huge opportunities themselves. Phil Foden had a couple where Andre Onana had to be smart to get down to prevent him, but the biggest opportunity coming on the cusp of half-time. Erling Haaland, open goal, 2 yards out, and I have to say, Mike Maine, it surprises me currently that this is 1-0, but this is the beauty of football. This is the beauty of the Premier League. This is the beauty of the derby.
Yeah, this is why you never write any side off in a derby. When you look at the stats, they all rake in Manchester City's favour, but the only stat that matters is the score. United lead by 1-0. So City have work to do. I don't think, knowing Pep Guardiola, he'll change much at half-time. He's got a bench full of stars there to use if he wants, and some players that can really influence the game. Your Oscar Bobbs, for example. Your Julian Alvarez is certainly, but he's a man for rhythm. I think City are in a good rhythm. I think Pep Guardiola would say that as well if we got to speak to him at half-time. But they just need to tire United out and pressure them a little bit more, make them concentrate a little bit more, and we'll see what they can do. But that's how United have played their game. Alex Bruce is saying it pre-kick-off. He wanted the low block. He wanted United to sit in, knew they'd have to sit in and defend resiliently. They have done. They've had some big saves, some big blocks, some big tackles, and we will wait and see. Pep Guardiola just walking out of the tunnel now, looks pretty relaxed. His team will be behind him, literally, and he looks calm and composed. The coat's off, thinking face on. Big second 45 ahead.
Yeah, Manchester United are the first team out onto the pitch here on BBC Radio Manchester. The second half of the 192nd Manchester derby is to follow. Commentary with myself, Gaz Drinkwater, Mike Maine, who you just heard from there, former Manchester City goalkeeper David James, and former United youngster and Premier League defender Alex Bruce with us as well. Plenty of opportunities for both sides in the first half of this one. City, certainly the team in the ascendancy, but Marcus Rashford was almost put through on goal, just let himself down maybe with his touchdown with his head. He went for a volley as well at the far post where he totally airballed his kick. But Manchester City with huge opportunities. Phil Foden, Erling Haaland just yards out. I mean, David James, it's a collector's item, a miss like that from Erling Haaland.
It is, exactly, and do you know what, as wonderful as Marcus, I think it's probably the easy way to describe it, as wonderful as Marcus Rashford's strike was as bad as Erling Haaland's miss was.
I'd go along with that one. Bruno Fernandes gets us underway in the second half, and an interesting goal kick. He goes all the way back to Andre Onana. His long kicks have caused City problems so far in the game, and he does go long again down the right-hand side, but as John Stones and Scott McTominay jumped up for the ball together, it was adjudged that McTominay had maybe backed into John Stones and brought him down to the ground. He stays on the ground as well, John Stones. He's Bruno Fernandes near him there to try and help him off the ground, but John Stones doesn't want that help.
Akanji's getting his tracksuit top off.
Maybe this will be the first substitution of the game, just moments into the second half, 30 seconds into the second half, in fact.
He's put it back on.
John Stones looks okay to go. City take the free kick inside their own half, down the right-hand side where Kyle Walker picks up possession. Kyle Walker back to Diaz. Here is Walker. Pass to the right-hand side to Phil Foden on the halfway line. And City go from left to right in this second half. They trail by a goal in the Manchester derby. Ruben Diaz. Ake on the left now. City switch to play. It's a pass forward to the feet of Doku, who's closed down by Garnacho and Dalot. And yeah, the referee in the end says that is a Manchester City free kick.
Yeah, I did say at half-time, or sorry, just before half-time, that maybe they should make some changes, or Pep make changes. One thing, Mike, you and I know very well, is that Pep does not make changes often when they're not winning.
Here's Ruben Diaz inside his own half, ball at his feet, goes to his left to Ake, and here's Doku. Seen plenty of possession on that left hand side so far. Doku in the first half, just lacking that killer instinct, as Manchester City as a whole have so far. It's why they trail 1-0. Foden on the right, short to his left to Walker. He goes back to his left to the centre circle where Diaz will collect possession. Rodri on the ball now, closed down by Bruno Fernandes, but he can shift it out to the left hand side where Ake is waiting. Back to Ruben Diaz, just waiting for blue shirts to appear in front of him, as once again, similar to the first half, United have every single red shirt behind the ball currently. Doku attempts to go down the left-hand side, and then it's cleared out of play for a City throw-in by the United defender. But we're back underway now with Diaz. Every City player, outfield player, in the Manchester United half currently. Ake. Sideways passing from Manchester City. And then I'm sure you will see the urgency ramp up the further this game remains 1-0 to Manchester United. Now it's De Bruyne. Crossfield pass looking for Doku. Garnacho's there to head it back. Ake picks up possession though for the Blues. Doku on the left-hand side now. Stands up Alejandro Garnacho, who has his hands behind his back. Goes back to Ake. Passes it forward to Doku, who tries to feed a pass in, and does well, Doku, to manage to nick it back. But Scott McTominay puts a foot in, gets the ball back for United. Is there a potential counter-attack? Garnacho goes forward, then turns back on the halfway line. Then a ball over the top from Casemiro, which Scott McTominay will get on the end of. Ball across goal, looking for Marcus Rashford. But in the end, Ruben Diaz was there to intercept for City. And now City can go forward themselves. De Bruyne with plenty of space in the centre circle. United rushing players back. Phil Foden on the right. Foden in the area on his left foot. The curling effort is blocked by Johnny Evans up in the air. Lands at the feet of Doku on the left-hand side. Now it's Bernardo Silva. Silva goes backwards to Ake. As City continue to dominate possession in this game. Here's Walker. Pass to the feet of De Bruyne on the right-hand side. De Bruyne shifts it to the left. Goes to Rodri, outside the box, pass into the feet of Haaland, who can turn and play a pass to Silva. It's Doku, shot deflected and is saved in the end by Andre Onana. City come close again, but they can't get their goal. Johnny Evans had no option there but to put it out of play for a Manchester City throw-in on the near side.
Is there a VAR check there on the foul on Haaland? No, the referee's waved play on. Good bit of defending again from Manchester United. In particular, Johnny Evans, when Foden cuts in on his left-hand side, managed to shuffle his feet and get the block off.
Now it's Rodri.
It's all about the speed. City just got to keep that ball moving quickly, get the ball out wide, get it into the box quickly, and they'll create chances.
Ball to the right-hand side to Phil Foden. Here is Foden, stands up Lindelof, goes round him, ball into the far post. Silva's there with the header, but in the end harmlessly drifts over the bar. City need to be more ruthless than this, David James.
Yeah, but I mean, there's plenty of time. Not that they should end up in that situation, giving away a goal kick in the end. But again, the ball gets wide, the cross is in. It looks like chances are being created, and the more they do that, the better the chances they'll get. Hopefully one as good as the one that Haaland didn't score from.
This is where
City
Manchester
fans
United, obviously, they are getting frustrated because Onana's taken all the time in the world to take this goal kick. But from a Manchester United point of view, that's exactly what they need to do. Try and take the sting out of the game. Take an eternity to take everything. Throw-ins, goal kicks. Try and frustrate Manchester City and the supporters the best they can.
Onana did go long. John Stones headed it back up the other end of the pitch, and then Onana had possession again. Johnny Evans goes long with his left-footed pass. It was, I think, meant for Bruno Fernandes. Unfortunately for United, Fernandes had run the other way, so it goes out of play harmlessly for a Manchester City throw-in inside their own half on the near side. City do take that throw-in, and now it's Ruben Diaz with the ball at his feet inside his own half. Kyle Walker just across the halfway line now as the Manchester City fans at the Etihad for the derby start to make their voices heard. No doubt frustrated with the scoreline, considering the plethora of chances they've had. They tried to go forward again through Rodri. His touch lets him down, and now Marcus Rashford could be on the counter for United, but Kyle Walker defends really well and just almost shepherds today's goal scorer out to play for a throw-in.
I think Marcus was thinking about knocking one down the line there and saw he was up against Kyle Walker and thought, forget that. He tried to check back and ran it out for a City throw.
Haaland on the ball there, loses possession pretty poorly to McTominay, and now United have it in the middle of the pitch. It's Bruno Fernandes. He looks at the run of Garnacho, then almost puts his left hand up to say, no, slow down, let's keep the ball, let's not panic, let's hold this lead. Lindelof on the left goes back to the goalkeeper Andre Onana. He passes forward to Casemiro, who dinks it past Bernardo Silva really well and carries on going. Bruno Fernandes takes over on the right-hand side. There was a run by Garnacho that he decided not to go for in the end. He goes backwards to Diogo Dalot at right back for Manchester United this afternoon. Kobbie Mainoo makes a good run. It's Mainoo in space in the City half. Switches the play to the left-hand side. Marcus Rashford right by the corner flag on the left. Rashford goes back to Victor Lindelof, the Swedish captain. Short pass into Kobbie Mainoo, who goes back to Lindelof, who switches play to the right-hand side. Good bit of passing from Manchester United this. Diogo Dalot into Garnacho. Garnacho goes short to his left to Fernandes. Now it's Dalot. Short spell of possession for United. We've not seen much of it in the game so far, even though they do lead 6 minutes into the second half currently on BBC Radio Manchester. It's Rafael Varane on the right-hand side, just over the halfway line now. Garnacho into Fernandes, into Varane, and short pass to Diogo Dalot as United keep the ball pretty well. They need to be careful of this Manchester City press though. Fernandes, good pass into McTominay. Short one back to Rafael Varane, who's ventured forward. Now Kobbie Mainoo. The crowd gets frustrated here at the Etihad. The team hasn't touched the ball in a few moments, but they will now as Bernardo Silva steps in and wins it back for City. And instantly Rodri launches it forward to Phil Foden. Foden on the left for City. He wants company. He's not got many men in blue, but he does clip one into the far post and no one there to collect it. So Diogo Dalot can head it away. And it's Scott McTominay now with, well, he's facing his own goal. He's running towards his own corner flag. And eventually United do clear it up to Alejandro Garnacho. Rafael Varane's turn to hoof it up to the left-hand side this time. Rashford steps in Kyle Walker to win it back for City. It's a fair challenge, says the referee.
Wow.
And then Bruno Fernandes commits a foul on Phil Foden.
Once again, it's just a time thing, which is getting a little bit frustrating. We can hear the frustration from the City fans, possibly because City get into good positions and don't end up with a shot on target. Ball goes to Phil Foden. He waits. When the cross goes in, it's cleared. Things have got to be done quicker.
John Stones to Kevin De Bruyne on the right. Phil Foden to his left. De Bruyne. Rashford the closest United player to him, and then it's a pass into a central position from De Bruyne. Walker left it. I don't think Diaz was expecting that, but City do keep possession. Ake into Walker, halfway inside the United half. Every United player behind the ball, as has been the status quo in this game so far. Foden out to Doku on the left. He's got Dalot for company. He goes back to Ake, just outside the box. Curls one in the middle, or goes over the top of Erling Haaland. And right towards the byline, Marcus Rashford can pick up possession. Johnny Evans can't keep it in play. Goes out for a Manchester City throw-in, which Walker takes quickly, but Kobbie Mainoo
is there before it gets through to Erling Haaland. Now Casemiro can release Scott McTominay. Plenty of red shirts coming forward here. McTominay plays it to Rashford on the left. Kyle Walker brings him down. Rashford can't believe he's not got a free kick there. Alex Bruce, you seem surprised by that one too.
I do, yeah, because I don't see any other reason why Marcus would stop when he's in his tracks. He's slipped ball through for him. He's just stepping onto the ball, and Kyle Walker shoves him in the back. That's two the referee's just given to Manchester City, where you'd have to say it was harsh on Manchester United.
No chance. Marcus just fell over.
Rodri now. Phil Foden on the right-hand side. Foden lines up the shot! An incredible equaliser from Phil Foden! 2 goals in this game, both of which in fact, coming from Mancunian goal scorers. United's players protest with the referee, but City have their equaliser. It's City 1, United 1.
Wow, I tell you what, for all the qualities of Marcus Rashford's goal, I think Phil Foden has set down a marker himself. He just cuts in on his left foot. He's just outside the D. Left foot, top corner. Onana, who's possibly been player of the match so far in this game, had absolutely no chance. So that is one beautiful strike. And Alex, what have you got to say about that then?
I think it was a great strike. Unbelievable bit of skill and talent from Phil Foden, as you'd expect. He cuts in and smashes one straight into the top corner. But what I have to say
Erik
is,
Ten Hag has just picked up a booking.
It's come on the back of a Man United breakaway.
Here's a replay.
There's a big argument. Is it a foul?
No. Marcus Rashford. Kyle Walker has put his hand on Marcus Rashford's shoulder.
His hand's on. There you go. You've told us.
He's put his hand on the shoulder. He hasn't pulled him down. Marcus Rashford collapsed looking for the foul because he knows he's not going to beat him for pace. That's just. And it's not Marcus Rashford's fault the ball's gone in the back of the net, but Marcus Rashford did not need to go down in that situation.
Well, we are back underway then. The Etihad leaps to life as their team finally get their equaliser. City 1, United 1 in the derby. Still plenty of time to play in this game. We've just gone over the 57-minute mark. City have been the team on top, it has to be said. But 2 electric strikes from 2 local lads are the difference makers in this game. 1-1 at the moment. Rodri on the centre circle, and the referee is just going to hold up play because a blue flare has been launched onto the pitch right by Andre Onana. Can we talk about that Marcus Rashford or supposed foul on Marcus Rashford then? Because that is clearly what the United players weren't happy with. Rashford looked like he was through on goal. He went to ground as Walker approached him, and then City scored.
Yeah, but the ball's gone played through for Rashford. Kyle Walker's run inside him. He's put his hand on Rashford's shoulder, but he hasn't dragged him back. Rashford's collapsed his feet looking for the foul, which is what normally happens. But fair play to the referee. He hasn't seen a foul. I don't think it's a foul. It's gone to VAR, and then it's gone down the other end. But the quality of Phil Foden's strike shouldn't be Rashford's fault for going down, if that makes sense.
It's a hell of a goal, you have to say.
Yeah, it's superb.
We've seen 2 unbelievable goals in this derby from local lads. You've got Alvarez coming on now for Manchester City. Doku coming off, Jamo Calder, which he's buzzing about. He's
yeah, the World Cup winner.
Probably be Foden. Will Foden go to the left, do you think, Jamo, and Alvarez through the middle?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Although Phil Foden looks pretty good on the right at the moment.
I was going to say, the way he's just put in there. Bernardo on the left, Foden on the right.
Well, Phil Foden with his 17th goal this season. It's the most goal involvements now from Phil Foden in a single season that he's had throughout his whole career. As City come forward again and they look to take the lead, it is that man, Phil Foden, by the byline, right-hand side, pass inside to Kyle Walker, into the feet of Rodri, in the box. The shot from distance from Stones is blocked by Scott McTominay into the air, and then Ake will take over on the left-hand side for City. He can't keep it in play, but the last touch came off Diogo Dalot, says the referee, so a Man City throw-in on the far side. The atmosphere has certainly gone up a couple of notches here at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 1. It's been an incredible derby so far.
Referees all of a sudden put a Man City shirt on.
Wow.
Obviously heard the crowd get up and thought he'll give every decision their way. The last 50-50 challenges, he's given City's way the last 4.
Well, I said there that it had gone out of play for a City throw-in. In fact, the referee says that Diogo Dalot committed a foul on that left-hand side. So City have a free kick in a really dangerous position. If they can play a good ball into the United box, it will be Kevin De Bruyne who gets the short one, puts one into the far post. Onana's there, flaps at it and punches it out to play for a City corner on the right-hand side.
Yeah, what's interesting is that Manchester United set up from wide corners as free kicks the same way they do as corners. And I still think that far post ball is the way to get them. That's where United concede most of their goals from corners.
Corner on the right-hand side will be for Manchester City then. We await this to be taken as the referee sorts out a little bit of argy-bargy in the 6-yard box. Phil Foden to take it on the right. Can City take the lead in this one? Corner into the far post. Diogo Dalot rises highest, heads it behind himself, and out to play for a City throw-in.
That's good defending by Dalot there. Very good defender.
Manchester United's defending commendable in the first half. Couldn't last in the second though. 61 minutes played. It's Manchester City 1, Manchester United 1. Not too much has changed tactically about the two sides. United continue to sit back and will just try and hit City on the break if they get another opportunity in this game. But at the moment, it's City who go forward. Foden's pass in the box, looking for John Stones, and Bruno Fernandes can't quite clear it away properly. So City still have possession. Alvarez out to Bernardo Silva on the left-hand side, outside the foot, pass back to a central position. Rodri takes over. Kyle Walker halfway inside the United half now, Manchester City. Alvarez turns to his left. Silva takes over, fakes the cross on his left, does eventually put it in on his left foot. Rashford is back in the box to clear it away for United, but City take over possession again with De Bruyne. Curls one into the middle, but collected quite easily by Andre Onana. Pretty wasteful from City, and it remains 1-1.
If Man United are going to get back into this game, though, you can say that they're defending their box well and camping in their own half. They need to be cleaner with that pass when they on the turnover. Too often they're just getting the ball and just kicking it anywhere at the minute. If they're going to get back into it, they need to find that first pass, otherwise they're going to be in for a long 33 minutes.
I'll tell you what, a lovely turn of phrase there. Get back into the game. They're 1-1.
Well, you know what I mean.
But it does look like that, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Does look a little bit.
They need to keep hold of the ball, basically.
City have a throw-in on this near side then. Marcus Rashford and Phil Foden a little coming together there between the two local lads who have both had their say in today's derby on BBC Radio Manchester. 1-1 at the moment. Rodri, pass out to the right-hand side where Phil Foden will take up possession. Phil Foden, foot on the ball, shifts it to his left foot, plays the pass back to Kyle Walker, and it's John Stones just outside the box. Calm in possession though, Manchester City. But then they just switch into life. Good pass from Foden, in behind, looking for Rodri by the byline. Back to Foden, curling one, into the far post, headed back by Silva, and over Erling Haaland. United clear it away. Phil Foden to Diaz. Just bounced off Phil Foden, the ball there. Kevin De Bruyne, I should say. And now Foden in possession himself on the right-hand side. Kevin De Bruyne. Back to his left, Ruben Diaz. City know they'll have chances in this game, and they don't see him in any major rush, but De Bruyne tries to pass in behind there, looking for Phil Foden. Onana gets there first and instantly appeals to the medical team. Looks like there may have been a late challenge there on the United goalkeeper.
I don't think so. I think he's heard Alex Bruce's commentary and he realised that this game's a little bit tougher than it was 10 minutes ago. But what I do like is City actually playing second phase here. That ball back to Bernardo Silva, we saw that in the first half. But again, the cut back to the centre wasn't executed well. I think Erling Haaland's chance was exactly the same. Ball to the far post, headed across. It's paying dividends in the sense that it's opening Manchester United up, and if Onana decides to get up, which he has done, then I think we'll see a lot more of that from City.
I think it's just a bit of game management from Onana. He's allowed the Man United players to come over to the touchline, get a drink, try and gather themselves, which they need to do, because at the minute, for the last 5 or 6 minutes, he's been attack v defence. And if United want to win this game, as I say, they need to try and get hold of the ball and try and give City a problem going up the other end of the pitch.
Well, Onana was up on his feet at one moment while talking to the physio. Then he went back down, and now he's back up. Altay Bayındır is warming up on the touchline. Manchester United's number 2, although he does have the number 1 on his back. He's only played once for the Reds, Newport County, in the FA Cup. Conceded 2 goals that day, but has to be said, had a pretty good performance, made some good saves for United, even if it was against League 2 opposition. But looks like the first Turkish player to play for Manchester United won't be needed quite yet in this game. And Onana is back to his feet and ready to throw the ball out for United. He throws it to Johnny Evans, who is surrounded by blue shirts. I'm surprised United went to Evans, because now De Bruyne can play it to Haaland down the right-hand side. Haaland's pass intercepted by Mainu, and there's Rashford. Little 1-2 between him and Kobbie Mainoo. Back to Marcus Rashford. Bit of space on the left for the goal scorer in the first half. Rashford now on the left-hand side, passing to the feet of Bruno Fernandes, who can't quite control it and loses out in the end. But now United managed to nick it back. Scott McTominay, Casemiro. United have it in the City half currently. Diogo Dalot for United. Goes back to Rafael Varane. United just look to calm this game down. Here's Onana now. As United go all the way back to their goalkeeper, Andre Onana, who seems to have miraculously recovered. Johnny Evans to his left. Looked to have a little bit of an injury problem himself in the first half. The man who returned to Manchester United in the summer. Last time he started a derby was here at the Etihad, and a certain Robin van Persie had a very late say in that game. Could we see a grandstand finish today? Still plenty of the game left to go. With 66 minutes in, it's City 1, United 1. City with all the ball for the majority of the game, but especially in this second half where they got their equaliser through Phil Foden. The ball's currently on the left-hand side for Manchester City. Ruben Diaz now just outside the centre circle. Kyle Walker takes over and plays a low pass to the feet of Phil Foden. Replay back to Kyle Walker, who thought was going to go back to Foden again, but no. Goes to the left, Ruben Diaz in possession. City again taking their time. Here's Rodri on the ball. Ruben Diaz all the way back to the goalkeeper Ederson. Stands on the ball with his left foot. Takes a look up, doesn't go long. Goes short, Ruben Diaz comes short to collect. Looks in front of him and just a sea of red shirts. Scott McTominay and Bruno Fernandes the furthest forward for United. Good pass into the feet of Haaland, who can turn on Johnny Evans. Goes round Rafael Varane, brought to ground, and a Manchester City free kick in a really good area. To talk you through this free kick and the rest of the second half, we'll hand over to Mike Mainoo.
Well, Manchester United are readying a change. Willy Camboire ready to come on for Manchester United, and will be coming on to replace Johnny Evans, you have to assume. Still carrying that knock he took in the first half. But Johnny Evans at 36 years old, replaced by the 19-year-old Frenchman, Willy Camboire.
Well, it's going to give fresh legs. I'm just thinking of other ways Manchester United could potentially change to try and cause City a threat. I would like maybe to see Marcus Rashford put on the right for a little bit to try and get at Ake rather than trying to take Kyle Walker on down the sides. We know how much of a difficult job that is. I know from a defensive point of view, Ten Hag might be thinking that he can track Kyle Walker the other way, but in terms of an attacking threat, what do you think, JMO? Put him on the right, let him have a little go at Ake?
Yeah, I don't think United have offered anything
exactly,
since the colour. But even changed a bit. I don't think they've got it in them to offer anything at the moment. The long ball hasn't even been an option. Sorry, the thing I'm shaking my head at is Johnny Evans taking his time walking off. Anyone who saw the game last night and how much time wasting was involved to try and stop Liverpool winning, and paid the price right at the end.
Exactly. 8 minutes of added time shown. Liverpool scored in 90 plus 9. It is 69 minutes here at the Etihad Stadium. City 1, United 1. This free kick, bang central on the edge of the D. Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva have had a long discussion. John Stones now joining that little bit of chat between the two players. Kevin De Bruyne has to be favourite for this free kick. Alejandro Garnacho, the draft excluder, behind a 5-man wall of Manchester United in their red shirts. Kevin De Bruyne trying to set up a big derby moment here for Manchester City. Referee happy. De Bruyne from 20 yards out, sends it, deflects, and away out towards this near side. Phil Foden Manchester City's goal scorer in this game lays it back. He's done what only 5 other players have done before him, Phil Foden, and scored home and away against Manchester United in a single Premier League campaign. Niall Quinn, Sean Goater, Sean Wright-Phillips, Yaya Toure and Sergio Aguero all before him. Here's Ruben Diaz midway inside the Manchester United half. City in sky blue from left to right in the second half. Usually the direction they face in the first half, when the Manchester United tried to upset the odds and a bit of superstition. Walker's driving one from 25 yards out, straight down the throat of Onana, who catches inside his 6-yard box and keeps the score. City 1, United 1.
Yeah, it's good intent, and I think given the way that United are blocking up that in front of the goal, that shot from Walker wasn't a bad thing. He's hit the target, he's done what he needed to do.
Manchester City have only done the double 5 times in the Premier League over Manchester United, the last of those in 21-22. Most successful side in doing the doubles, along with Liverpool. Both of them have 5 against the Reds. Can City make that 6? They've certainly been on top for large parts in the second half. Edison untested since the restart. 71 minutes played, 1-1 the score. Stockport 1, Wythenshawe 1. If you want to play it with a local angle as well, here on BBC Radio Manchester's Total Sport. The phone line's open for you to put your call now as well. 0800 218 2255. Here is Walker to the right of the centre circle for Manchester City. United in their red shirts defending as John Stones canters towards the edge of the penalty area, hacked away by Cam Boala. Back into the Manchester City half, and Edison, a rare touch for him, comes close to the centre circle, gives it to Ruben Diaz. It's floated over the top. Cam Boala and Bernardo will battle for it by the corner flag on that far side. City's left, it's right in the quadrant. Cam Boala sends it away down the line. Don't think it's bent out of play. Linesman on that far side watching it all the way down the line. Flag remains by his side. Manchester City back in possession. Walker trying to slide it on through down the middle for Rodri. It's picked up by United. Here is Fernandes. Ball behind Marcus Rashford. Foden can't get the touch he wants on it. Delot to Scott McTominay, shifting the ball out towards the far right-hand side. Phil Foden's goal, levelling City up, their 600th goal at the Etihad Stadium under Pep Guardiola. Manchester City, how they would love 601. Manchester United, if they win, could have a +1 by their goal difference. 0 at the moment in the race for the top 4. You never know how important it's going to be. 3 points vital to both sides this afternoon.
How is this still a game, Alex? Sorry, I'm laughing because United get possession and just give it straight back. How is this still a game?
Yeah, they've got to do a little bit better in terms of keeping the ball. Obviously, Man City, when they land on it, they have pass after pass. They're moving Man United around. When Man United get the ball, they're putting 2 or 3 passes together and giving it straight back to Man City.
Foden mazes in from the right-hand side. Stones tries to lay it on for Walker on the right of the penalty area, unsuccessfully. Wins it back though, as United struggle once again to clear the line. City have it 10 yards inside the United half. De Bruyne is central. Alvarez to the left of the D. Shifted to Bernardo Silva. Low ball in. It won't come back to Alvarez. It's sent away by Scott McTominay doing some defended. City on the halfway line with Nathan Ake.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Yes, they haven't scored a goal, but the problem has been, as you just said there, Alex, they're shifting United around with slow play. When it goes quick like it just did, it causes problems.
United have already... ball into the box, left-hand side, caught by Onana. United have lost 10 of their 26 Premier League games this season already one more than the entire of last season. They've only lost more in a campaign on a couple of occasions in the Premier League, and in those seasons they sacked their manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and David Moyes. Erik ten Hag, under pressure, is going to make another change with a player who scored here at the Etihad last season with a fine goal, Anthony, to replace Marcus Rashford. Alex Bruce, and that's not a decision I think you agree with.
I just think with Marcus, unless he's got an injury, of course. I know he took a whack at the game against Forest the other night to his ribs, I think it was, but in terms of an attacking threat, he scored a goal. He's looked like he's been Manchester United's biggest threat in terms of an attacking point of view. The 3 chances that they've had have fell to him. He's took him off and replaced him with Anthony. I think Garnacho will come onto this left-hand side now, and yeah.
Anthony questioned over his energy levels towards the manager Erik ten Hag this week in the press conference. Ten Hag defended him, saying he has some of the highest energy levels. Now it's time to prove it out on the pitch then, Anthony, and silence those critics. Walker out to the right-hand side. Foden in from the touchline. Has to lay it back though with nobody really in position on the edge of the D in a central position for Manchester City. Rodri, Stones gets there, intercepts the ball from his own teammate, effectively stopping it get through to Walker, but Rodri's then floated it back over to Walker. Delot heads it away. Here's Garnacho out on this near side for Manchester United. Red shirts, black shorts, black socks for the visitors today, as Rafa Varane turns it back to Onana. Haaland will apply the pressure. Delot moves down this near side, in fact plays a lovely ball with the outside of his boot to Bruno Fernandes to get United into the Manchester City half. Antony, flag stays down for now. Rodri across as cover and wins the ball, wins the free kick. The flag does go up for offside against Manchester United substitute. Forward comes City then, hoping that with United, as they came forward maybe out of position defensively, they've slowed it up. Kevin De Bruyne, Nathan Ake.
Yeah, just looking at the stats here, or my information, and I think Erling Haaland's only had 2 shots in this game so far, Mike. Frustrating considering the amount of shots the City had, but he hasn't actually been the focal point in this, and it's taken a wonder goal by Phil Foden to get it back to level. As much as Onana did make a big one-on-one save in that first half, again, it's getting a little bit slow, a little bit predictable.
Diaz with Antony for company, 25 yards from the Manchester United goal. Rodri slides it out to the left. Kevin De Bruyne, 5 yards from the byline, just takes a little touch, tries to run into the penalty area, checks back. Ake scoops it in, header away by Lindelof before it reaches Haaland. And Ake and Bernardo try and battle for the ball unsuccessfully. Antony will bring it away here for Manchester United. Ake with some excellent cover, racing back into position and made the challenge on Antony. Here he is again, the Dutch defender, and Manchester City. Foden goes down on the edge of the penalty area off the ball. Bernardo Silva for the Blues. It's infield to Rodri, scoops it up. Away by United, Mainu this time gets it away. United play it out from the back, win the free kick as McTominay goes down just outside the penalty area.
Yeah, good defending again from Manchester United. I can't really say anything else. J-Mo's laughing. I don't know what you want me to say. They're defending for their lives. They have 2 or 3 passes and give the ball away back to Manchester City. That's the way the game's panning out, unfortunately, from a Man United point of view. If they're going to get 3 points in this game, they need to try and, as I keep saying, trying to give City a problem the other way, because at the minute it's just attack v defence.
Well, my thing is that, to be fair, it was a fantastic tackle back by Ake, but a moment or a lapse in concentration by City is what's going to cost them if they're not to win this game.
Yeah.
De Bruyne heads it on the far side. Haaland races back to try and win the ball, which he does, and then uses the Belgian back out on the left. Here is John Stones. Rodri will be afforded space to turn, then as he tricks his way, goes over, no free kick, a wag of the finger from Andrew Madley. Rodri 25 yards out.
I think the referee got that spot on. I think it was a dive. Man United are just in good possession here now.
Coming forward. Yeah, Garnacho on the left. Edison's come all the way out to the edge of the penalty area. Sticks out a long leg. Ball deflects behind for a goal kick. Double deflection off Garnacho. And David James is an ex-England and City goalkeeper, applauding that move by the Brazilian.
Yeah, I was applauding him because reckless. I thought it was fantastic. The only problem that he's going to have is whether or not this is interpreted as a reckless, because he's flying through the air. He has got the ball, but getting the ball is not enough. I think he's all right.
Tell me if it's not reckless. He's got both feet off the floor.
It's not ascending. It's not a red card. It's definitely not. No, it's not a red card. It could be a foul, but VAR is not going to give that as a foul. They would only give it. Oh, penalty decision.
Yeah, VAR is checking this then, whether it's serious foul play. I think the check is over. No, referee is just holding up his hands to Edison to pause for a moment. Stuart Atwell is the VAR official today. And Edison is laying the ball down on the edge of his 6-yard box, preparing to take a goal kick. Blows his whistle, check over, no penalty.
Yeah, I think it's because in the end he was on the ground when he made contact with the ball. And having said that, had that been the other way around and it had been Onana on Phil Foden, I'd been screaming for a penalty.
1-1 the score, 11 minutes to go in the derby on BBC Radio Manchester. City applying the pressure. Manchester United's last shot was in the 23rd minute. Alvarez to the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva won't continue his venture in the channel, so checks back, uses Alvarez once more, midway inside the Manchester United half to the edge of the centre circle for Ruben Diaz, who with a little bit of pace on the ball sends it out to Phil Foden, who's hanging around on the left-hand side of the penalty area. De Bruyne can't feed it back through to Foden, bounces off Antony. De Bruyne back in possession, sees it back to Nathan Ake. Ake uses Ruben Diaz. Bruno Fernandes puts the press on him. Ake peels away out towards the left-hand side to offer that assistance to Diaz. Now De Bruyne, Foden into the path of Alvarez, Foden, triangle, and in! It's the local hero on Derby Day, and Manchester City have turned this game on its head to lead and to continue their press in their title race. Foden on the left, the angle was tight, and Manchester City lead. City 2, United 1.
Superb again by Phil Foden, but the build-up move, Mike, the speed when Alvarez picks it up in the middle to get the ball out wide, the speed of the movement, the speed of the passing, the quality of the finish. Do I remember Phil Foden scoring a hat-trick against Manchester United once here at the Etihad? But I talked about the speed of decision-making, everything. I'm just looking at the replay here. Phil Foden's run inside, the ball's early to him, one touch onto his left foot, bang, bottom corner. They had these opportunities to do this in the first half, I felt. They didn't exploit it. They've done it in the second half. And Phil Foden, you know I love him, and what a finish.
Terrible from Casemiro, I have to say. He's been 1-2 so easy. Plays it round him, can't stay with him. It's a great little bit of play from Foden, as you'd expect when he gets in them positions. But the man of Casemiro's experience can't get done with a 1-2 on the edge of the box.
But Al, this is what was happening. This is what I'm saying. The first half, City were getting into these positions, but rather than going with speed, slowed it down. Allowed Manchester United to get back into position. So, what a goal. Oh, Amrabat's come on.
Sofiane Amrabat on, as is Amari Forson as well for Manchester United, in a double change for the under-pressure Erik ten Hag. United back into negative goal difference. He's lost 19 of his previous 64 Premier League games, Erik ten Hag. Already more matches lost than the likes of Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho, who themselves were much maligned. Erik ten Hag playing, or managing rather, for his own future, will have yet more questions asked as his Manchester United side took the lead against Manchester City in the derby, but are now 2-1 down. Phil Foden's most successful season in front of goal for Manchester City now, and it's his double that has put United on the back foot. City 2, United 1, 8 minutes to go. Don't be fooled in thinking this game is over, but Manchester City, with the authority they've shown in this second half, will be strong favourites to take it from here. And now they're playing around in the middle of the park with Rodri coming forward. A little dink out towards the left-hand side to the hero of Phil Foden. Alvarez just away from the penalty area on the left-hand side, backs away, uses De Bruyne. Here's Nathan Ake, Rodri and Ruben Diaz. How, Alex Bruce, do United now get back into this game?
I don't know. It's the honest answer. I mean, the way City have played in this second half, they've totally dominated the game. It's like it's been attack v defence. United have huffed and puffed. What was the start? United haven't had a shot since the 23rd minute. So are they going to get back into this game? The odds are well and truly against them, but if they're going to do something, they need to do it quickly.
The thing is, Mike, I think that one goal, I said you can score too early. After 8 minutes, it gives City 82 minutes effectively to get back into the game. And I don't think, as I said to Alex before, I don't think that United have got a game plan to score goals.
De Bruyne, space to move into, out towards the left. It's a floating ball. United are being stretched here. Foden out on the left-hand side, moves into the penalty area. Goal scorer trying to turn assist now. Ake to the left corner of the box. Move back out. Foden gets the ball from Alvarez, sends in the cross. Haaland won't get there. Bernardo Silva brings it down immaculately. John Stones just to the edge of the box. Bernardo on the right-hand side. City left to right in this second half in their sky blue shirts. And it's sky blue joy at the Etihad Stadium right now, with City leading by 2-1. Nearly 20 years since they turned around the derby to even rescue a point. 2005 back then. It's nearly 70 years since they last won 3 at home in a row against Manchester United. But they're on course to do that. City 2, United 1. John Stones just inside the Manchester United half to Bernardo Silva on the touchline. 6 minutes to go. City leading. Here's Diaz, back to Kyle Walker.
Mike, you're sounding much more positive now. Why is that?
I have a bank of positive stats and negative stats, and you have to use them at the right time. But it's looking good for City. More negative chat about Manchester United to come with you on 0800 218 2255, the number you need to have your say in the Total Sport phone-in. David James and Alex Bruce with you till 6 o'clock tonight. Stacey Copeland guiding your calls. Gareth Southgate watching on I'm not sure Phil Foden's position in the England squad for the Euros is under any doubt, but he's only doing himself favours.
Yeah, he is. And I'm just going to say, Mike, City, again, United just give away possession. But the fact that Phil Foden scored the 2 goals today, the fact that... Hang on.
He's in again here, Foden on the left-hand side, actually backs off from the penalty area, chooses not to, I guess, do anything too risky with City leading here in a game they had to win in the title race. Liverpool next weekend at Anfield. Live for you on Total Sport as well. Here is Walker. Stones flicks it round the corner to the right-hand side, and Diaz has space to operate in now. Uses his Portuguese compatriot in Bernardo Silva. Back to Diaz. Try and bring your reaction before 6 o'clock as well tonight on Total Sport. If we can't, breakfast tomorrow morning with Anna Jameson. 6:30, 7:30 and 8:30 for your sports desk. There'll be plenty of discussion to be had and fallout from the derby with 4 and a bit minutes to go. City leading 2-1. Diaz back down the line. Sorry, Bernardo back down the line to Diaz. Here's Walker.
Yeah, the point I was going to make is, and again, this reliance on a goal scorer. And I think going into this game, after Haaland's 5 goals against Luton, his expectation was Haaland was going to be the kingpin of this match. He's had a couple of shots literally in the whole game, and one of them he should have put in. But Phil Foden stepped up. And as you said it, this is his best season with regards to goal actions or goal involvement. But this is an ominous sign for anyone in a title race. Simply that City have got the numbers to be able to produce the goals.
And they can score goals with all individuals as well. If Haaland doesn't score, you've got Foden, you've got Alvarez, De Bruyne, Bernardo. Rodri chips in now and again as well. They've got goals all over the pitch. That's why they are where they are, and that's why they're world champions at the end of the day.
John Stones, lovely in the middle, manages to work it out to the left-hand side. De Bruyne closing in on the penalty area. De Bruyne to the byline, low ball in towards Foden. Hacked behind on the slide by Rafael Varane, and Manchester City have a corner on the far side.
They're cruising. I was going to use bad language there, and I'm not going to do it, but they've got this game so much under control. I'm looking at this United side, and again, this is the frustration, Alex. You look at the United side, who are leading early in the game, can't take the game by the scruff of the neck, and in the end, they're hanging on not to be embarrassed.
And the big thing is as well, they've took Marcus Rashford off. If he's injured, it's different, but he was the only goal threat they had.
De Bruyne's corner from the far side, in-swinging delivery. Oh, Ake rose for it. I think the touch was off Varane. Last, it will be another Manchester City corner, despite the United appeals. So, corner now on the near side right. Bernardo Silva walks across to take it, gets the adulation from the Manchester City fans in that corner down to our right-hand side. It comes off the fist of Onana, actually, the ball from the De Bruyne corner on the far side. That's why City have now got this near side corner. Bernardo Silva raises a right arm in the air, left-footed, swings it in, goes past a crowd of players in the 6-yard box, and then Delot, heavy touch. De Bruyne is able to get there first, out by the corner flag on the far side. 2 minutes to go. City lead by 2-1. Alvarez, bending ball from one side of the penalty area to the other. Bernardo Silva, left-footed, low ball in. John Stones, challenged from behind. The ball runs back through to Bernardo, who swings it in deep to the back post. De Bruyne's header across goal. Varane sees it clear before his goalkeeper gets a touch. And United send it away and out towards the far side with Casemiro to Anthony, who's got a lot of work to do, but he's eating up the yards, getting past Nathan Ake. Then checks back, Foden's there defending, and the ball's out of play to add further misery for a Manchester City throw-in.
Yeah, Phil Foden, he's got 2 goals, and I think his one-on-one duels defensively and offensively have been in the plus, especially then when he just nicked the ball off Anthony. Superb.
City play out from the back. John Stones launches it long into the air. Haaland will back into Rafa Varane, who does well. And the ball now with Victor Lindelof midway inside the Manchester United half. Camboire, Varane out towards this near side for Delot. Here's Amari Forson. Debut last weekend, first start last weekend rather, against Fulham in that defeat. 2-1 that day, 2-1 today. Here's Forson back to Dalot again, midway inside his own half. Fernandes has peeled away out on this near side. Pep Guardiola is galloping down the touchline along with Bruno Fernandes there. The City manager feeling every kick of the ball as Bernardo Silva just squeezes his way past Casemiro, arguably a little bit too easily. Checks back in field from the right of centre and then plays it across the centre circle towards Phil Foden. 30 seconds left of normal time.
Yeah, the United again just giving the ball away. I mean, this is possibly one of the worst performances I've seen United play, and I've seen them get smashed in games and play better out. This is
I think you've
really
got to
bad.
give an enormous amount of credit to Man City as well. We speak about how good they are on the ball. I have to say they're exceptional without it as well. The way they get the ball back and hunting packs, the press is so aggressive.
United are just giving the ball away. Come on.
But they can't deal with the fact that City are just too aggressive against them. That's why they're up. They're just too good without the ball.
8 minutes added on.
Well, where did we see that yesterday? Stories and twists and turns in the title race with Liverpool at Forest. And now Manchester City have their own 8 minutes of added time to hold on to this 2-1 lead that they have over Manchester United, to close the gap back to Liverpool, who put the pressure on yesterday with that 1-0 win at the City ground. City still have to go there themselves. More importantly, they have to go to Anfield next week. De Bruyne takes the low-range shot, bending just wide of the right-hand post. Onana was full stretch. He didn't have to worry in the end. It's a goal kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, I said KDB was warming up, and this second half, towards the end especially, every time he gets on the ball, things look like they're going to happen. That shot was a bit wide for a normal Kevin De Bruyne shot, but oh God.
Oh, Rodgers has taken the ball off Amrabat. Here's Haaland's chance! 3 goals, 3 points. Manchester is blue on Derby Day, and Erling Haaland gets the goal that will seal the deal for Manchester City. A mistake from United, the master of their own downfall, given to Haaland on a plate, and he bends it into the bottom left-hand corner. Manchester City 3, Manchester United 1.
Mike, all I got to say is Manchester United give the ball away. They've done it again. Amrabat this time gives it to Haaland. He's had a bad game because he's had 2 shots and he should have scored one of them, but you can't give him a third shot, especially a one-on-one versus Onana. He just slots it away, and I tell you, the scoreline now is reflecting what it should be.
United have simply struggled to put more than 2 passes together in this second half, and that's another example of it. They're trying to play in their own half. Onana gives it away sloppily. It's a poor pass into him, I have to say, from Casemiro, chipping it into him just on the edge of his own box. He gives it away, and you can't give players like Haaland that opportunity because they'll kill you.
Al, do you want a fistful of Norwegian sweets?
Could do with something.
Well, that was sweet from the Norwegian, and Manchester City lead by 3-1. Left-footed curling ball into the far left corner. Pep Guardiola, his fist clenched. The Poznan is out at the Etihad Stadium as City fans turn their backs on the game, link arms across shoulders and bounce around. City lead by 3-1. Manchester United fans, many have headed for the exit away to our right-hand side. Lots of blue seats visible in that away end now, and Manchester City, their fans are going nowhere. It is a huge win for City in the title race. The gap back down to a point against Liverpool. That battle at Anfield will be red hot next weekend. Here's Alvarez, Bernardo Silva on the right-hand touchline, back to Ruben Diaz, and City can enjoy now the next 5 minutes of the 8 added on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it when the 8 was added on, and there was a slight reference there, or possible reference, that this could mean that United could get back into the game, but this game has been littered by mistakes from United players, and Amrabat's mistake, and there's another chance again.
Ake's going down the left. Haaland will have to adjust his position, actually slips as he tries to backtrack a little bit, but Bernardo Silva's won the ball back. Foden outside of his boot, gives it to Nathan Ake. This could get even sweeter for City. John Stones trying to force a way through, hacked away by Rafa Varane. Oscar Bob is going to get a few minutes here for Manchester City as Kyle Walker sees the ball back to Edison. A despondent Erik ten Hag with his quilted winter coat on, hands in pockets, watches on, his side blowing a 1-0 lead as Manchester City in the second half have turned the game on his head. There's a different mood around the Etihad Stadium, this incredible fortress for Manchester City. November 2022 since they last lost. 36 games it'll roll on for Rodri, and it's now 59 games when he's been on the pitch that City
still 3.5 minutes left, Mike. 3.5 minutes left.
With Bernardo Silva on the ball. Now the Olays come out for the Manchester City fans as City play some short passes in and around this near side of the pitch. Stones to Walker. They'll enjoy every single one of them. Here's Ruben Diaz. moves out towards the left-hand side. Nathan Ake back to Ederson. The facts remain, United in this second half just haven't been good enough. They haven't tested City since midway through the first half. They applied the low block, they sent the numbers back, they took their chances on the counter-attack. Marcus Rashford scored a fine goal to give United the lead. But in the end, City's resilience broke down United's resistance, and City have a free kick on the far side.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic performance from City in the end. And I mean, the scoreline, as I say, it looks more like what it should do, I think, at 3-1, Al. But really, this has been more about City perseverance and Manchester United's, at times, dare I say, incompetence, the way they're just giving the ball away.
Foden looks like he's in trouble here, by the way. I don't know if he's...
Yeah, and that, well, the sub is going to be Foden for Oscar Bob. Whether that was planned before Foden went down, but he has taken a big knock and is hobbling off towards that far side. Erling Haaland's got his arms around him. It'll be a standing ovation for Phil Foden, who has rescued the derby, then turned it on its head with 2 fine goals. The first from outside the penalty area, flew past Onana into the left side of the goal. And then the second one, the angle was tight, put it across Onana and into the bottom right-hand corner. Oscar Bob steps on. And for all that Pep Guardiola was saying about the local lads, the academy players, this game means more to them. Well, Phil Foden has certainly taken heed to that. And his 2 goals have helped City within this 3-1 win. If you want the statistics, Manchester City 73% possession to United's 27%, 27 shots to 2, 8 on target to 1, 15 corners to 2. United once again have fallen short at the Etihad Stadium. 3 goals in October without reply. 3-1 here at the Etihad Stadium. Ederson has it away to our left-hand side. We've got just over a minute left of the 8 that were added on. There might be a little bit more for the injury to Phil Foden. Rodri out towards the left with a slightly chipped ball to Kevin De Bruyne. He tries to bend one with the outside of his boot. And Oscar Bob sees the ball go behind him and out of play for a throw-in on the far side.
One of the ironies in this, that Man United have fallen apart even more since Johnny Evans went off. And when he was in the team sheet, it was arguably the player that you want to target, but...
His experience, Johnny, was probably one of Manchester United's better players on the day, wasn't he? When him and Varane were at centre-half, especially in the first half, they defended the box really well. And since the changes have been made, unfortunately, they've just got worse from a Manchester United point of view.
Phil Foden with a standing ovation as he walks behind the goal to our left-hand side and along this side of the pitch, closest to us. His right arm, right hand strapped up, but he applauds back. And the fans sing his name. He is the hero today on Derby Day. Delot with a marauding run forward to the left-hand side behind Anthony, though. Oh, Delot caught. Maybe something late for Manchester United. Free kick just away from the D, left-hand side, 23-24 yards from goal, Alex Bruce.
Yeah, it's a good position for a free kick for Manchester United, possibly to get their only shot in the second half at goal.
They'll go short.
Free kick then to the Reds of United. We've had the 8 minutes of stoppage time. We're at the referee's discretion now as to just how much more is added on. Bruno Fernandes is over this free kick. Wall marked out by De Bruyne and Alvarez. Floated in by Fernandes. Colour heads go up. The full-time whistle goes. And on the worldwide stage, it is the lads closest to home that make the headlines in the derby. Rashford's opener was a thunderbolt to give United a half-time lead and set the nerves flying around the Etihad. But the players were calm and composed, and in the second half, 2 delightful goals from Phil Foden moved Manchester City from 1-0 down to 2-1 up. Their empire stands strong, and Erling Haaland added to it late on to give City all 3 points to keep Manchester City within touching distance of Liverpool at the top of the Premier League. 1 point the gap, and the pair meet at Anfield next week. For United, further ground lost in the race for the top 4, and further questions asked of their manager Erik ten Hag. Full time at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 3, Manchester United 1.
Goodness me, we're here with you through till 6 o'clock on Total Sport. We'd love to hear from you. Get in touch, to call, it's 0800 218 2255. Text us on 81333. Start your message with the word Manc, and we're also on X at BBC RM Sport. City fans, was it just a matter of time? How would you rate the Blues' performance today? United fans, what does this mean for you? David, I'm going to come to you first. Of course, David James and Alex Bruce with you and I through till 6 o'clock. It felt, David, like it was a matter of time. That said, what did you make of City's performance today? You could say business as usual, they got the win, but were they that exciting, enterprising team that we've seen before?
I don't want to get too caught up in the emotion or enjoyment and celebration of what in the end is a great win. But if we think back to that half-time conversation that we had, Marcus Rashford scores a wonder goal. Going to be a contender for goal of the month, goal of the season, whatever. It was a wonder goal. He had the perfect chance to go through one-on-one and miscontrolled it. He had a great chance to get a shot on target when it went across the goal, and he mishit it. Other than that, there was the 1-1 that Onana had with Phil Foden. City weren't really creating the chances. So United should have been, or could have been, 2 or 3 up in that first half. Substitution in the second half, Doku comes off at 1-1. I mean, it's a fantastic goal by Phil Foden, but it was out of character with what City had done prior to that. It was a fantastic individual bit of play and a wonderful strike. Doku comes off, then I think more importantly, Johnny Evans comes off. Then all of a sudden, it was just City. So in the end, and I said, I was with fans of Liverpool yesterday. It was a great game for Liverpool yesterday because they scored in the 99th minute. 30 seconds difference and it would have been a bad day. And I think that today this was all about the second half and how City maintained and had the confidence to maintain that pressure after the substitutions. And I would say Manchester United being inept. They were giving the ball away a lot. So it was a combination. Wasn't the best performance, even if it was a fantastic result.
And Alex, we said in the build-up that in order for United to get anything from today's game, City would have to have a bad day. They didn't have a bad day, so to speak, but they certainly weren't at the best, but it was still enough to beat this United side by 2 clear goals.
Yeah, listen, over the 90 minutes, you'd have to say it was men against boys. When you look at the stats, I think the first half, Manchester United obviously hurt City on the counter-attack. They showed little bits of positivity in terms of trying to hit them on the counter-attack, but realistically, when you analyse the game, the only thing Manchester United had was the long ball over the top to try and cause City a problem. Apart from that, City had all the game, and in the second half they totally dominated.
Yeah, but how they stopped doing it?
They stopped doing it.
This is the thing that really frustrates me.
They didn't even get out of the half.
But they can't make the forward runs if no one's making the forward runs, because they drop deeper and deeper and deeper, and that's ultimately what they did.
I have this, and I'm going to flip to the FA Cup quickly. I have this with the FA Cup. When you've got a superior team against one of the lower league teams, and the lower league team thinks they can play football against them, they get smashed. They have to do what the superior team are not very good at, and go long. United went long at the beginning and caused all sorts of problems. And this, when you bring in Ten Hag into the conversation, even as a manager who wants to play, you go, hang on a minute, we're getting success here. Do what gets you success and hold on to a 1-0 lead, which you've had after 8 minutes. It's not like it was 0-0, 0-0, and they scored halfway through the second half. They changed it while they had, I think they had the upper hand. They changed it, tried to play football, and we saw what happened.
A few Blues fans getting quite excited at the sight of David James and poor Alex Bruce has bore the brunt of their excitement just a few yards in front of us when they recognised he was here, got a bit of stick, but they're allowed to celebrate, I suppose. Before we go any further, I'm going to get to the texts and tweets in a minute, and do call us 0800 218 2255 to get in touch with us on Total Sport. We're here with you till 6. We talked about academy players in the build-up. What was key to making them feel comfortable, being at their best? We've just seen 2 players who certainly not the beginning of that, they're almost veterans now, but they've come through that system, and local lads. And Stockport and Wythenshawe, who scored the first 3 goals anyway. One for Rashford, of course, for United, that beautiful strike in the first half. 2 goals from Foden as well, and I'd love to get both your thoughts on this. I mean, that will mean a lot to the fans, that obviously it turned out better for Foden, given that they won, but that was great to see as well, wasn't it? And just testament to the academy youth players who've come through that system from Stockport and Wythenshawe respectively, making a big impact in this huge game, Alex.
Yeah, it's what you want to see. Obviously, you always want to see young lads come through. For me, it's one of the best things about football when you see young lads come through. We saw it with Liverpool last week in the cup final. They're young lads, the way they played against Chelsea. Two lads who've come through an academy today. Man United's obviously Marcus Rashford and Phil Foden. I have to say, Phil Foden over the course of the game was exceptional. What a talent he is. The goals he scored, the energy he brings, not just with the ball, without it as well. He's a joy to watch, I have to say.
Well, even after those two goals, which are both exceptional, one from the right, one from the left, that poise and balance, just beautiful to watch. But shortly after that, David, after those two goals, we saw him, making a defensive tackle in his own half that he tracked yards and yards back to make, and that epitomises his work rate and commitment, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, if I go back to the question which you asked Alex there about the academy players coming through, I think Marcus Rashford, he hit the scene, rightly so, because he was exceptional. But he has never been part of an exceptional Manchester United team. And I think that's where the difference between him and Phil Foden is easy to see. Phil Foden's part of an exceptional Man City side, to the point that he'll do this and probably not start the next game. They don't need Phil Foden as a team to operate well, even if Phil Foden can operate or offer that positivity. But you talk about the balance and the skill. Al, we see this so often. I love Phil Foden. I love it. The going back and tackling, all this stuff. That's what I love about him, and it frustrates me when I don't see it, because you know that he can do this week in, week out.
He's like a street footballer, isn't he? The way he plays.
He's poise and balance.
He's infectious. He's balanced. The way he keeps hold of the ball, the way he uses his body to get in between the ball and the player who's coming to tackle him.
And Al, the other thing is,
he's so clever.
The way that he carries himself, he doesn't do it like, look at me, I've just done this. It's kind of like, I can do these things. I'll do it again. I just love him. Love him.
What did you make of the substitution there, in particular, meaning Rashford, Alex? Because I know that you said it during commentary. He did look like the only Manchester United player that posed a threat to City.
Yeah, listen, there might have been an injury to Marcus Rashford. I know he took a knock against Notts Forest the other night. He might have just been fatigued. Ten Hag might have just looked at it and thought, I want to bring fresh legs onto the pitch. However, you have to ask the question, who was Manchester United's biggest goal-scoring threat on the day? Undoubtedly, it was Marcus Rashford. He's obviously confident because he scored that worldie in the first half. And you think if Man United are going to get back into the game, where's the goal going to come from? And to take him off, obviously there's a question mark over that, because for me, Garnacho didn't really do much on the day to stay on the pitch and take Marcus off, but there might have been a reason behind that.
We talked about style of play and the approach that Ten Hag may take to today's game, and we asked the journalist that was with us, actually the chief Manchester United writer for the Evening News, Samuel Luckhurst, what that style of play was and what approach Ten Hag might take today. We asked him to clarify the style of play. He struggled to do so. What did it look to you was the approach today?
The approach today was basically to park the bus, like what we spoke about before the game. They had the back four, they had the 2 6s in front of them in Mainu and Casemiro, and then they had the 2 8s in Bruno and McTominay, and they had Marcus on the left and Garnacho on the right, and they tried to hold a deep block, and then on the turnover they tried to find Marcus and Garnacho with the long ball over the top, and it looked like it was effective in the first half. It obviously caused City some problems in certain passages of the game, but throughout the course of the match, Marcus dropped deeper, Garnacho dropped deeper, and they had no out ball when they won the ball back on the turnover. So it proved to be a long, difficult afternoon in the end, and United huffed and puffed on the ball. They didn't keep the ball well enough in the second half in particular. They kept giving the ball back to Man City, and when you play against a team of City's quality and you keep giving them the ball back, eventually they'll wear you down, and that's exactly what happened.
The interesting thing, Stace, is that, and again I repeat, scoring too early. People think I'm stupid when I say it. There is no way that Ten Hag went to his United side and said, if we score after 8 minutes, this is what we're going to do. I think they anticipated a hard first half. Possibly, if they were going to get away with a 0-0, they'll be happy. But the game plan, like Alex said, parking a bus. Maybe in the second half we get a chance to get a counter-action, because City have to come at us. But they score after 8 minutes. All of a sudden it's like, now what do we do? We can't go forward to risk scoring a second knowing that we might concede a first. So I just think that the goal was too early. They didn't have a proper game plan, and in the end, it was just wave after wave of Manchester City. Like 23rd minute.
Yeah.
The last shot was in the 23rd minute. That is
well, that's
terrible.
Not the only concerning stat. We've got some here. Possession-wise, 73% City, 27% United, which won't surprise you. Shots, 27 for City, 2 for United. Shots on target 8 for City, 1 for United. And corners, of course, there were plenty for City, 15 for City, 2 for United. So, and the stats don't always tell a story.
No, they don't.
They're not always the be all and end all, but in this case it did.
Of the time they do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, from a Man United's point of view, and listen, in the end, after the game's finished now, we can look back and reflect. It was a tough afternoon for Manchester United, as we probably all expected it to be.
Well, some of the texts and tweets reflecting how happy fans are with Foden's performance, as you would expect. Lynn says he's one of our own. Hungry Habu says that was a brilliant goal by Foden, no doubt. Rahul says Foden is just too good, takes that ball in his stride so well and slots it home. Foden is such a complete footballer, more so than Haaland. Get your thoughts on that in just a moment. And Joe says Phil Foden, the local lad, scores his and Manchester City's second to turn the derby on its head. Foden has oozed class today. What a player. I don't think we need to compare them. They're both excellent in their own right and what they do, but that comment, David, that he's better than Haaland?
Who, Phil Foden? It's completely different. It's like saying, is Ederson better than Rodri? I think they're completely different. What I do like, though, I'm just looking at my numbers here. I think that's Phil's 5th goal at home this season. So the 11 goals scored in the Premier League, most of them actually come away from home. So I just have this thing about where people like to play. And what I saw today was one really happy player, especially at the end. And like Al said, Phil Foden was all over the game. It just needed that little bit different. And the one-on-one, and again, I think this is a testament to what a player he is. The one-on-one against Onana in the first half could have been enough to wreck a lot of players, especially in the magnitude of the game, especially at the stage of the game at 1-0 down. But he doesn't. He carries on in the second half. I can't say I love him too many times on radio because people are going to start and think I love the guy, and I love him.
I think Pep Guardiola spoke about that though before. People see bravery as tackling and putting the head in where it hurts sometimes. There's a different kind of bravery in football, and Phil Foden epitomises it. J-Mo's right in what he says. When he misses the first chance, some players might go under a little bit. He still wants the ball. He still shows for it. He still wants to take on chances. And that epitomises everything about Phil Foden.
Having the courage to step up.
Yeah, he does.
Absolutely. A couple of United tweets here. Mark Dickens says, need to get up the pitch, brings on Anthony. So we've covered that a little bit, of course. Rune says, Eric Ten Hag does it again, removing the only attacking threat we have. That in reference to Rashford being taken off, which we discussed earlier. But we've got some City fans joining us on the line now. Keon joins us, just leaving the stadium. Hi, Keon, how are you? How are you feeling?
Okay? I'm great. I'm honestly buzzing after that result. Second half really came out. That's the City we are. We know we are. First half too sloppy, but I'm very excited, very, very happy with that result. Very happy.
What did you make of the performance today? Or are you in the frame of mind that it doesn't matter, the points matter most at this stage?
What? Yeah, listen, that's exactly right. You know, as long as we get the 3 points, I'm not bothered how we win as long as we get those 3 points. But the first half, I thought we're showing them some respect in our backyard. I thought, go at them. You know, they're not a good enough side right now. They're a mid-table side at best. Go at them and we'll do them in. Second half, we did just that. And I thought we controlled the second half. Foden, brilliant goal, first goal. Second goal, well composed, and Haaland finishing it off. We deserved that in the second half. You know, United played well in the first half. They had their game plan, scored a goal and sit back. That was their game plan. But we show who we are, why we're City and why Manchester's blue. And we did just that and won second half. So I'm buzzing.
In terms of what this means in the title race, of course, Liverpool getting that 99th minute winner yesterday. How are you feeling about that now? Is this the kind of result that sets you up for those final games, feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm feeling confident, but, you know, this game, I can't lie, I know it's Man United, but this game was really a stepping stone. Our big game is Liverpool next weekend. We need to win that, you know. I don't even take a draw. I think we really need to win that. A Klopp farewell tour is going brilliant for Liverpool at the moment. They're really grinding out the results, and they are a scary team with a lot of injuries, but really getting the results they really need. So
absolutely.
We really
well,
need
thank
to win
you,
that
Keon.
game at Anfield.
Thank you very much. You go and enjoy your celebrations. David James, of course, the man to talk about that fixture next week. Liverpool, I mean, as they were saying, they expected to get through today. Next week, will they take anything from today going into that, or is it clean slate?
I think they will do, yeah, of course. I mean, you know that I don't like the momentum term. I don't think that winning one game means that you've got momentum going into the second. Otherwise, when you win 35 in a row, then you never get beat, or you win every game. I don't get that. I think the confidence that you can get from games, and what we saw today was the confidence in being able to work out the problem. And like I said, I mean, it's easy for me to say it from here, but it was a lot of slow play, especially in that second half when it started. Slow play, not creating the chances. Once things started speeding up, then there were problems, and then we end up with goals. So I think they'll go into the Liverpool game confident. But you can't help it as a human being when you see the game yesterday, and 99th minute, ball goes in. It's a back header by Nunez. Liverpool deserve to win the game, but it is a 99th minute last action that gets them the point. So there's a bit where you're sort of thinking, what are we up against here? What we saw today, as I say, I think a poor performance by Manchester United ultimately, and City took advantage. If they hadn't have got 3 points today, then there would have been a big problem. So it's going to be a tough, interesting game next weekend.
It certainly is. Well, let's look at the standings as they are then. So Liverpool 63 points from 27, City now 62 points from 27. Arsenal, of course, played 26. They play tomorrow night. They're on 58. Villa on 55 from 27. Spurs on 50 from 26. And Manchester United now 44 from 27. What does that mean for their aspirations to get into the top four, Alex, for Manchester United now after today?
Europa Conference? Will they qualify for that? They can win that. Ten Hag can keep his job.
Listen, I'm trying not to bite. I think there's 11 points now between United and the top four, so it's going to be a big ask, isn't it? And before the game, I think what was the stats? United have lost one in 20 odd games or something like that, which was obviously decent going into the game, but it's just that performance levels where you just need them to improve, and we're seeing again the gulf in between Manchester United and Man City. The way it is at the moment is that there's obviously a massive gap, and I think it showed in the performance today. And I think from a Manchester United point of view, supporters in particular, when you speak to them before the game, I think everyone feared the worst, and ultimately what happened on the pitch was nothing other than what we probably expected.
Gave them something to hope for, though, after a few minutes in.
Yeah.
Did Rashford. It certainly caught everyone by surprise, but those are those times when you just think you just never know. Well, let's say hello to City fan Joy now, who's just leaving the stadium. Oh, Joy's just left, so we'll try and get her back in just a moment. But David, obviously really important for Manchester City to get the points today. Clearly, it's different every game, isn't it? And Pep has, in terms of the amount of options and the depth in his side, to make the appropriate changes that he sees fit, that'll be the best side to put out and the best way to line them up for each team. They'll probably have quite a different approach next week, would you say, against obviously different opposition?
Yeah, I mean, there was points in the game, and it's really... And I think anyone watching or listening to the game there hopefully feels the same way. I think the game was up and down. It was very effervescent in a positive and negative way. There was stuff I was seeing Kevin De Bruyne do at times which wasn't good. And I was thinking to myself, is this because he played so much in the Luton game a few days ago? And was he tired somewhere? Then all of a sudden, Kevin De Bruyne comes to life and starts running the show. So it'll be interesting to see how he starts the lineup. The Doku Alvarez thing, I think, is a big thing, because as much as Doku can do something amazing, I was looking at his goal involvements. Most of it happened in one game this season, and it's not that he's consistently adding assists or goal chance or whatever. It happened in one game, and it makes the stats look good. So I just think there's a point there where the City possibly would be better without him starting to come on, and I think he can make an effect when you've got this tired defenders. You don't want someone putting 101 step overs, but other than that, I can't see where else there's going to be many changes. And the one thing about today, and we did mention at the beginning of the show, I think, that it was going to be the commentary, it was going to be a mistake by City that allowed United in. Well, effectively the goal was a mistake, because the long ball with Onana should have been dealt with. It's just a goalkeeper's kick down the field, and really, I don't know if it was Ruben Diaz, should deal with that, and Rashford should never get the opportunity to score.
Yeah, those are the margins of error, aren't they? Right, well, we've got City fan Joy who's managed to reconnect with us now, and then we'll be talking to United fan Kim in just a moment. Joy, good evening. What did you make of that today then, Joy? Pretty pleased with the result, I've got to imagine.
In the end, one of the best games I wanted to start in the
It's not quite, not a clear line at all, so we'll try and get Joy back in just a moment. Let's see if United fan Kim can join us, who watched the game from home. Evening, Kim.
Hiya, how you doing?
Oh, lovely, we can hear you nice and clear. Thanks for joining us, Kim. I know it's a difficult one when you're disappointed after a loss like that, especially in a derby game, but what went wrong for United on your view?
I mean, I can only really echo what's been said before. I think it was probably what we all really expected. But, you know, it's like they say, it's the hope that kills you. When going 1-0 up and going in 1-0 up at half-time, you know, you start having a little seed of hope and belief there. But, you know, I knew in the second half, you know, City weren't going to sit and stand for a 1-0. You know, 1-0 defeat. They were going to come out all guns blazing in the second half. And, you know, I don't think we can really have many complaints. They were just a better team on the day.
I mean, following that performance, and as you say, you were given a little bit of hope, a little bit of light and a glimpse of that, but through Rashford's goal very early on, and as David James says, perhaps that came a little too early. In terms of the performance, how has that left you feeling? Was it a bit like, well, that's what I expected? Are you feeling a bit despondent?
Yeah, I think that's probably about our level at the minute, and obviously through the season we've not had a particularly good season. I think it's a more encouraging performance than some derby games that we've seen. You know, the defending, there was a bit of fight, a bit of effort, you know, good defending in general, like I said, better than we've seen. I mean, when we conceded 6 rather, I mean, it was obviously much improved on that. And whatever Ten Hag's game plan was, which I presume is just defend and try and sneak a goal, was working up to a point, but City's quality showed in the end, and you know, you've got to ride your luck a little bit to get results in these games, and we just didn't quite have it today.
And in terms of the stats, you may have heard me reading them out earlier, Kim. They didn't make for good reading in terms of possession, shots on target, corners and so on. They did defend well. They were blocking shots well, particularly in the first half, as Alex Bruce pointed out. And they were posing a threat on the attack, especially when Onana was playing those long balls. But then for the 23rd minute, for the remainder of the game, no shots on target whatsoever. So, you know, in the position that they find themselves in at the moment, 11 points off Villa, what's the hope now?
I mean, I think Champions League football, you know, we did have a glimmer of hope. We had some good results, but, you know, I don't think this result was so much as a problem as losing at home to Fulham. They're the games that's going to cost you Champions League qualification. So I think Champions League is probably out of the picture. Europa League, I mean, there's 2 trains of thought. You know, some United fans love it. You know, different cities, different teams. But obviously it can cause a lot of fixture congestion, which is obviously not the great side of it. We've got to cling on to the FA Cup as our only chance of silverware, and then just try and string some results together and see how far up the table we can get. I don't think there can really be much of an aim now apart from try and get in a European position, and that's about as good as we can hope for, really.
I'm not gloating like Alex was with 5 minutes to go in the first half, but
you had to give him a moment. Come on, we haven't had.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't get many chances.
I'll tell you, the stick he's taken the stick from David on his right and all of the fans on his left. So fair enough, an entire row. It's true, an entire row stood up. I kid you not, Kim, and absolutely launched all of their emotion, let's say, through different types of vocabulary. Right. Alex Bruce, bless him, and he took it well, so we'll give him his moment to glow. But go on, David.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Kim, I love the hope, and I was laughing to myself, or laughing what you said there. You go 1-0 up, you hope that after half time you can hold on to 1-0. But looking through United's form this season, actually looking through United's form since Ten Hag has been there, granted he did get qualification for Champions League last year. What have you seen this season at any stage which suggests that you are as good, because it has to be top 4, as Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal or Aston Villa to start with?
Not much is the answer in a nutshell. There's been, but what I have to say is all the criticism ultimately goes onto Ten Hag, and when you are the manager of a football club, yes, the buck stops with you. However, recruitment teams that are surrounding football clubs now, the infrastructure. There's loads of things where Manchester United need to improve, and ultimately the big thing for me is the signings that they've brought in haven't come into the team and impacted in a way that they would want Manchester United players to impact the side.
Give me one player at Manchester United then. I'll ask the question. One player at Manchester United that Ten Hag has made better. Because coaches should. Oh, what, the lad who never played and now he's playing and scored a couple of goals, including an overhead kick?
Yeah, and his improvement has not been to the level
it's not that he.
Then
forgive me.
Yeah.
It's not that he hasn't improved. He is also a young player who you would think through exposure will get better.
Yeah.
But as a manager, having had enough time to improve players, as Pep has done with John Stones, with Carl Walker, with Phil Foden, where are the improvements he's made? You can go and buy your way out into success, but you have to maintain what you have in your stable, essentially. And what I don't see at United is any improvement in anyone substantially, where the manager's influenced it.
I'm going to give you a little bit of time here to be able to have a think. Who can I say in answer to that question? Because let's hear now from City boss Pep Guardiola.
It was a good game. We played really good. We started incredible well after making a fantastic goal from Rashford. But we make a complete and well-deserved victory.
Was there a particular message at half-time to your players?
Keep going.
Show some more composure, maybe?
Yeah, you're right. In the final third, had more pulse. We were accelerate. We had time to make a pass. All the actions was so in a rush, and have to be more calm. Have players to do it. And second half, Phil with a fantastic goal, because the first 10 minutes second half we failed to find the rhythm. But the goal from Phil after, we spoke about that with our people. When we play a derby, our people is unbelievable. So we had the feeling that he would score a goal. The rest will come.
And let's hear now from United boss Ten Hag.
I think good performance outside, and we went 1-0 up according plan. And we had our moments after this as well to go for a second one. I think we defended very well, but then in two, I will say, defining moments where we almost make a breakthrough. We conceded the first goal and also the second goal after also a defining moment when Ghana is through in a break. So then you are disappointed. Yeah, we have to accept it, but it's what it is. But still, I think we had the opportunity to at least to get 1 point, but also a win was possible.
You were upset with what you thought was a foul on Rashford, I'm presuming, for the City equalising goal. Do you still have that view?
I looked it back and I asked Ressi, and there was contact, maybe soft, but there was contact, and there's just you get out of the rhythm.
Well, we'll have further reaction tomorrow morning on Breakfast with Anna Jameson on BBC Radio Manchester from 6. But Alex Bruce and David James have been alongside us as part of your commentary team. Very quickly, Alex, reason for United fans to have hope?
We'll take each game as it comes and try and get as close to the Champions League spots as they possibly can. And they've got an FA Cup that they can keep going on in. And if they can win an FA Cup, that's a little bit of hope, I suppose.
David James?
Well,
big smile on your face at the end of this one.
Everton and Brentford, there's two chances for you.
Listen, you two, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us. It's been a joy. More enjoyable for David than Alex, clearly, but we appreciate you being with us. Thank you. All the reaction to come on Breakfast tomorrow on BBC Radio Manchester. Thanks for being with us. The Manchester Derby on Total Sport.
A storm is coming.
United is United. It's Man United.
This is a different club with a different DNA.
Desire burn.
Always nervous on Derby Day. Form goes out the window.
We are underway here at the Etihad. Fernandes just outside the area. Rashford shot! What an incredible goal from Marcus Rashford from Wythenshawe! An incredible way to open the scoring in the derby. A Rashford rocket!
The only thing I've got to say, I was watching Marcus Rashford in the warm-up, striking the ball, and it looks scary.
Foden head to the cross goal. Haaland, no! How's he missed from a yard out? It was on a plate for the Norwegian.
Miss of the season.
And there goes the half-time whistle. It is Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1.
Foden lines up the shot! An incredible equaliser from Phil Foden!
Well, I tell you what, for all the qualities of Marcus Rashford's goal, I think Phil Foden has set down a marker himself.
Unbelievable bit of skill and talent from Phil Foden, as you'd expect. He cuts in and smashes one straight into the top corner.
Foden, triangle, and in! It's the local hero on Derby Day! And Manchester City have turned this game on its head to lead!
The speed of the movement, the speed of the passing, the quality of the finish, bang, bottom corner.
Oh, Rodgers has taken the ball off Amrabat. Here's Haaland's chance! 3 goals, 3 points. Manchester is blue on Derby Day, and Erling Haaland gets the goal. The full-time whistle goes. And on the worldwide stage, it is the lads closest to home that make the headlines in the derby. Full-time at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 3, Manchester United 1.